Welcome to Alfred and Oval this afternoon for round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Sam Young bringing all the action here live this afternoon between, of course, the Ballarat Swans, 8th place so far in the league, hosting East Point. And all Ballarat affair in what is internally known as a bit of a gather round, all games this afternoon here in beautiful Ballarat. Weather holding off here at the moment, Alfred and Oval, so should mean we get a excellent contest between these two very young sides. Of course, both sides coming off losses last weekend and looking to bounce back this afternoon. For Ballarat, well, you look at the outs this afternoon. That tells a bit of a story of what we could expect today. No Simpson, of course, he has been the standout in the opening 3 rounds for them. He's going to be out for about a month or so with a shoulder injury. No 3-time best Ferris winner, and Daniel Kennedy still working his way back from injury, and no Tristan Maple and Bailey Van der Hoover, of course, selected respectively for VFL this afternoon. Van der Hoover with the Cats and Maple with Footscray. 37 touches last week for Maple. That's going to be a big hole for the Swannies to fill a lot of reliance on their captain in Will Garner from the midfield, as well as Will Liston, who's been superb as well in season 2023. You look at the Kangas. Well, last week against the Devils, they were just unable to really get their mojo going in the early parts of the game. Or smashed around the contest, allowing Brett Bewley to have 48 touches, if you don't mind. So go get the footy at the source. Does Jackson Merritt's men this afternoon if they want to be within the contest. It'll be interesting to see how they line up in the midfield. We saw Geordie Johnson start there against Melton South in the early part of the season. Went forward last week with a couple of goals. McDougall went to the midfield. Will that be the same process this afternoon? Then we'll see when the sides line up in a few moments' time. They're just going into their final huddles now. With the outs for Ballarat, you'd have to think that East Point go into this one as firm favourites. But on paper, both sides, young lineups. You never know. Hard of the contest. Could be an interesting one here live from Alfred and Oval. Round 4 action in McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. We'll be back soon to bring you all the action live. Players are into their opening positions here to get action underway here. Round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Johnstons, both starting in the midfield, as we alluded to, was probably a possibility to start things off here. Let's get all underway here with Van Neal going in the ruck against Powling to kick things off here. We're off and running with Powling in the first knockdown. Liston trying to extract. Johnston will get the clearance, so high ball, tough on the mark in the early parts of stages. Weighing down was Matt Johnson with the hand pass, looking there for Molan. He couldn't quite gather, and the quick kick comes from the Swans, but it's going to go in back to East Point. Missing Van Meer with the hand pass. Had Lovic, couldn't get it to him. Mooney, sharp hand pass. Swans try to rush it forward. Quick kick there by Mellington, gains a few metres or so. Bouncing ball will dribble out of bounds. Seeing over the line there was Liam Howard in between halfback and centre wing on the broadcast side for East Point. Real arm wrestle and jostle to start things, as you would expect, between these two sides who featured in finals action last year in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Back underway with Van Meel and Powling. The throw will falling short of neither ruckman. Tough one to handle. Johnston, clean as always. Quick kick comes out towards centre wing to Molan. Sharp hand in balls cut off there by Mellington. He went over the shoulder looking for Bishop. Just knocked it towards the boundary line. Molan did well to keep that in remarkably. Johnston gets quick kick. Maybe caught one over the shoulder. Umpire Reid says no problem. Gardner now with it. And a bit of separation for the Swans. They look to go through the middle of the ground there through Gray. Long ball to Hooper at full forward. Was he pushed out of it? I reckon he certainly was. And the Ballarat Swans fans and umpire agrees with me. Free kick to Hooper, directly in front, 30 from goal, to get the opening score of the match here, live at Alfredton Oval. He's obviously the hot hand, leading goal kicker for the Swans this year with 9 majors in 3 games so far. AFL experience at the Western Bulldogs, of course, famously debuted in that final, that semi-final against Sydney all those years ago. Former Tony Lockett medalist in this competition, and Hooper comes in and gets the opening one of the match. First blood to the Swans, if you don't mind. 1 goal straight, 6 leads East Point. Yet the score. Fantastic start for the home side. Ballarat, their sharpshooter, the little man up forward in number 4. Andrew Hooper getting on the board with the opening goal of the game. He's 10th of the season. Getting back on the action underway here once again with Powling and Van Meel. Powling showing his dominance and winning that one down. Taylor didn't get a clean disposal of that, and he's gone holding the ball. Great tackle by the big man Powling in the middle of the Alfredton Oval. Great start here for the Swans. Loads up a long ball, drills it towards full forward. Getting back was Johnson, though, read it best of the boot, taking the mark. The captain goes down the middle, looking for his brother who slipped. Van Meel couldn't get a clean touch of it. I caught one over the shoulder. Free kick the way of East Point. Maybe a lucky escape from the skill error in the middle of the ground. Handpass is off to Johnston. And East Point try to share it by hand at half back, but going nowhere in particular. And the corralling pressure by the Swans is fantastic. Van Meel off to Johnston. In the end, just decides to kick it out of there. And more in hope than anything, Taylor backing back, couldn't complete the mark. Quick kick there by Whittaker. Not going to be paid the mark. Slipped away from Johnston there to the left. Ball still in dispute at half forward for the Kangas. Yet to enter inside 50 yet. This afternoon, ball spills free. Taylor, Johnston, quick kick towards the full forward position. McDougall gets out to meet it. Quick sharp hand pass is a good one to Whittaker. Put it on the dance step, had nowhere to go, and it's good. Well, not paid on the ball. Umpire lets it roll on. The Swans do get a free kick at the end of it. Bade was going to come away with it, but Ballarat's pressure at the moment is too much for East Point to handle. They'll look to go from the other side through Constable. Looking for a mark out there, couldn't take it with the Swans. East Point, share it by hand once again. Canny with the hand pass, finds his target. They go inside looking for Johnston. He marks on his chest in between centre half, forward and middle of the ground. Loads off of one step, a long ball towards the full forward position, and a nice strong mark by Walsh. Seen him at both ends in senior footy in this competition. That one there showing his aerial prowess. Nice and strong. The vice-captain held on. And he'll line up from 30 out directly in front. So Mitch Walsh to start his approach at the goal face. The mark was excellent. The finish has to live up to the billing directly in front. 35 from goal. Walsh will come in with the kick. And makes no mistake, East Point draw one back. Scores a level here, 1 goal apiece, 6 points each. Real arm wrestle to start things here at Alfredton Oval. Both sides yet to really find their best footy. Van Meel and Powling to continue their ruck battle here to kick things off. Van Meel wins it down towards Johnston. Quick kick from the clearance will dribble towards the half forward line. Knocked away there by the Swans. They've got numbers and support in the end. Hand pass was a good one. Will find its way to Squires. Coughed it up to his teammate. And in the end, they've made a bit of a meal. They'd have Ballarat. They were trying to share that one between themselves with Squires and Wardley. Not the cleanest passage of play that the Swans were after. Back underway. Howling again wins it down. Bit of holding from the non-officiating umpire sees, and it's going to go the way of Ballarat. They'll to load up again through their big man in Marcus Powling. Had a short lead ignored of Quinlan. Decides to go longer, looking for Perry, sets himself. Big spoil there from Howard over the top. Ball in dispute. Q couldn't quite gather for East Point. Diving in there for the Swannies was Maple, of the Zach variety, of course. No Tristan this afternoon. We'll get a ball up in between half forward, centre wing on the broadcast side. 6.5 minutes played. Powling once again goes up against Van Meel. Van Meel only goes as far as Gardner. Johnston comes away with it remarkably, sung to the ground by Mallington, and ball finally spills out. Umpire letting players go there, despite not really making a genuine attempt to get the ball forward or cleanly dispose of Johnston. Looked for the line as soon as he had it. Nevertheless, we'll get a ball in right in front of us in the broadcast position on centre wing here. One down by Powling, taken away by Johnston. To Taylor. Look away hand pass was good to Geordie Johnston. And he'll pound a long one inside 50. Looking for Walsh. Fisted away there by the Swans. Coming away with this one is Bade. Took too much time. Run down from behind. And the umpire says he's gone. Just a lack maybe of spatial awareness. Thought he had a bit more time. Did Bade coming out of the fence. And in the end he was run down inside 50. Directly in front by the veteran, Brad Whitaker. Missed pretty much the entirety of the 2022 season with that broken ankle that he sustained in round 1 action last year. Back around this year. He's kicked 5 goals. Their leading goal kicker this season thus far. And he comes in. As we build him up, misses to the near side. Minor score 1-1-7. East Point take the lead for the first time this afternoon by a solitary point over Ballarat. Just the 1 goal straight 6. The Swans will look to bring it out of the full-back position. Long ball towards the outer side's a good one. Happy just to maybe take a bit of tempo in this game here, the Swannies. There's a short pass, should find his target mark taken there by Taylor Constable. He plays on. Long ball towards the attacking side of centre wing. Perry sets himself over top, couldn't complete the mark, reaching there. East Point get enough cavalry across there, the likes of Lovic circling to lock things up. In front of the Ballarat Swans coach's box, the Thunder box, if you will. Attacking side of centre wing for the home side, trailing by 1 point. After 8.5 minutes of football here at Alfred and Oval. Powling wins it down. Johnston maybe held without it. Umpire let Waves play on. And yet another, well, yeah, the umpire has picked out a bit of high contact. It is going the way of Johnston. As I thought he was going to say, give the ball to me. Johnston with it, had plenty of it early. 37 touches last week, if you don't mind. Drilling passes, good one, finds his target. McDougall, one way away from goal, takes the mark. Able to play on. Runs his full measure, maybe some, but gets it towards full forward and it's floating in with a wonderful mark. Johnston takes the grab. Just took a little bit off the kick at the end of McDougall to give the likes of Walsh and Johnston the fly in the air, showing their aerial prowess there. And Geordie directly in front will line up from 35. Averaging 25.5 disposals this season is Johnston. Couple of goals. Directly in front, player of his talent, should have no mistakes. Kick is on its way, and the kick is wonderful. Pops it through. East Point get their second one of the afternoon. 2-1-13 leads the Ballarat Swans. 1 goal straight 6 after 10 minutes of football here live at Alfred and Oval. Goal to Johnston, his first of the afternoon. Both him of the Geordie variety and Matt had plenty of it in the early stages here. Powling wins it down. Coming through there nicely was Molan. Umpire said he got one high and East Point take the advantage towards full forward to Whitaker. Couldn't quite complete the mark on the second bite of the cherry. Ball still in dispute. Ballarat getting some cavalry in defence. Bade shovels at the hand pass. They look towards the other side. Kick coming there from Maple. over his intended target. Diving in there was Mallington. Couldn't quite go to the football. And in the end, it looks like it's going to be a ball up. Centre wing on the outside, virtually opposite from our broadcast position here at Alfred Oval. Cold afternoon in Ballarat this afternoon. Weather holding off, though. Should leave for a cracking contest. One down there by Van Meel. Molden should get the clearance. His kicks off the instep a little bit. In the end, it might be too wide and out in the full. So Ballarat will be able to come away with it from the half-back line and reassess attack. Of course, both sides trying to bounce back up the losses last weekend. Long ball towards centre wing. Lovic with a big fist over the top, knocks it towards the boundary line. And we'll get a ball in. Cam Lovic, Mr. Consistent, if you don't mind, ever since he's played senior footy at East Point, averaging 25.5 disposals a game in his 2 games so far this season. We'll get back underway. Van Meel wins it down. Umpire waves play on, said he tried in the contest. And in the end, another ball up as a result. Ballarat trying to get some bigger bodies around the footy here as well. The likes of Mooney moving around the contest here as well. Bowling comes from a long way. And again, the non-officiating umpires picked out a free kick for a bit of holding in the contest. The Swans to set up attack. Drilling ball inside 50. Couldn't take the mark down there. Hand pass was looking for Perry. It was too hot for him, and in the end, the ball was trickled out of play, about 30 metres out from goal. In the Swans' right forward pocket. Able to maybe create an opportunity to hold things in here. McGrath was the man who flew high and couldn't complete the mark. He'll do the ruck work against Van Meel. Back underway. Neither ruckman really touch it. Johnston coming through. Mooney with the hand pass to a dangerous area. In the end, the big tackle's applied there by the veteran Chris Carson, and he locks things up. At 25 metres out from the full-back position. Nesta watching Liston very closely this afternoon, of note. The 2 number 2s. One down there by McGrath. Slapped towards the boundary line there by Johnston. Comes away with it. Spearing pass been cut off, though. Mark taken there by the Swans and by Harwood as he goes towards full forward to Perry. Bumped out of the contest. Ball spills out the back. East Point should come away with it with Thompson, but in the end, the boundary line was the one that wins out. And fortuitously for the Swans, we're able to lock things in once again inside forward 50. They trail by 7 points after 13.5 minutes of football here this afternoon. We'll get back underway. Reaching over top, there was McGrath. Nesta. Did he get a hand pass? Umpire said he did and waved play on. And again, another stoppage inside. Repeat stoppages inside 50 for the Swannies. One of those KPIs I'm sure Chris Maple has in the coach's box. Back underway. McGrath takes it out of the air of the ruck. Umpire will have a big decision to make. You're allowed to do that these days. And that's why he's going to wave ball up. Of course, only a few seasons ago, he would have been called holding the ball. McGrath, knowing the new rules to his own advantage. Well, newer rules, if you will. Van Meel reached over the top on this occasion. Trying to suck his own advantages there was Liston. Thought was superb. Big tackle there applied by Nesta. And in the end, another stoppage. The 4th repeat one inside forward 50 for Ballarat. Holding it in there. Back underway. Van Meel reached over the top. Got a fingertip to it. Knocked it to nowhere real of advantage. And another stoppage. Another tackle by East Point to lock things in defence. Taylor bring down McGrath on that occasion. We're back on the way at the 15-minute mark. Big fist by Van Meel. Molan slipped. Shoved it the hand pass. Got it to Taylor. Right foot kick will come out of defence, but it's going to go too wide and out in the full, which happens to be so much of the case on that far side of the ground when you play at Alfred and over here. Consistently a little bit of breeze action towards the old change rooms, or the current away change rooms, if you will. So Ballarat be able to bring the ball back in through Noah Drever. Stepped up his line, so he's called to go. Hits the hot spot with the kick, though. Perry from the side, couldn't complete the mark. Lovic with a rare fumble, sorted out of play, and we'll get a ball in deep inside forward 50. All the action played inside forward 50 for the Swans in the last couple of minutes. Yet to register a score from it, though. They're 1 goal straight, 6, trailing East Point 2-1-13. 16 minutes played in the opening term. Taking out the ruck there was McGrath. High tackle was missed on Noah Drever. Prendergast in there for the Swans as well. Ball in dispute. Taylor extracts. Clean kick to the other outside. Might be coming straight back, though. Ballarat have numbers behind the footy. This time it's Bade. Comes inside with a kick. Wasn't the best effort to Gray, but he may look better. Drills it inside, forward 50 for McGrath. Couldn't complete the mark. East Point gets some numbers around again to lock things up and then have the safety of the boundary line to get it towards. And we'll get another ball in, 45 from goal. McGrath and Van Meel to do the ruck work once again. Ball in, 45 out from goal. Neither ruckman touch it. Slapped by Johnston. Q. Wrapped up, got boots ball. Howard just dumps it out of the fence. Playing in front was a big man there in Whitaker. Couldn't take the mark. Ballarat drill it back inside forward 50. Looking for the target, and the mark is taken there by O'Brien. Tucked up in the right forward pocket. Looks to centre with the kick. Saw Mooney at the back. Mooney takes the mark. Kick was inch perfect, if you will. Kick came from O'Brien to find Mooney. And he'll shoot from 25 out on a slight angle. Mooney starts his approach. Should make no mistake. From 25 metres out, he comes in and he nursed it through. Kicked the goal, the second for the Swans this afternoon, and all their hard work is rewarded. They move 2 goals straight, 12, trailing East Point 2-1-13 here at the Alfredton Oval. One point the margin and a tight tussle here at Alfredton Oval. Round 4 action in McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. The Swannies getting some reward for effort inside forward 50 there. Neither ruckman again really do much with it. Sort of bounced off both of them and ricocheted now forward for East Point. McDougall trying to inject himself in the contest. Diving on that one there was Drever. And umpire of the year last year, Brock Reed, says, I will throw it in the air. In between centre half forward and the centre of the Alfredton Oval. Powling. Won it down. The Swans coming through. Mooney went without it. And in the end, another stoppage. Stop-start affair. Expect long quarters, I reckon, this afternoon at Alfredton Oval. As we're back underway. One down there once again by Powling. Fisted forward by Mooney. Umpire Reed sees a free kick, and it's going to go the way of the Swans. Mooney didn't take possession, was held by the waist. And that's why he's been rewarded with the last goal kicker in the match this afternoon. We'll give the hand pass off to the running man in grey from centre half back. Looks towards half forwards, looking for O'Brien. Kick bounces in front of him, knocked away by Thompson. Bade will get there first. Alexis tried to keep it in, took on the Jeffries tackle. And the umpire says, you put the arm out, so you are going, holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of East Point. So Jack Jeffries, short pass is a good one. Finds his target, mark taken by Nesta. Nesta plays on. Was looking for Whitaker, but cutting across was Mooney and took the mark. And his kick's just as poor, turning it over to Johnston. He went to play on, and it's a comedy of errors in the centre of the ground. Trying to rush it forward there with the Swans. Big tackle applied by Gray, but maybe just slightly overzealous, getting the arm over the shoulder. And a horrible bit of football ends up with Nesta in the middle of the ground. He looks across the ground and tries to find the target, and Walsh couldn't complete the mark on the outer side. Knocking towards the boundary line where there was Taylor. Went with the inside of the hand pass and a sharp one back to him. Can run to 60, can Taylor. Pulls the kick to the hot spot, back and back. Mark is taken there by Bade in the hole. Looks across goal, finds his target. Ballarat with possession, and the overlap should be completed here with the Swannies and Fisher. Gives it back to where it came from. They look towards centre wing when McGrath has a bit of separation on the lead, and he takes a nice strong mark. So Mitch McGrath with it. Plays on. Pulls the kick a little bit towards Hooper. On the half volley to pick up was superb. Tried to get rid of away before being tackled by Q. Q comes away with it. Smothered. Went as far as McGrath. His kick was horrible off the instep. Still creates a bit of chaos at half forward. Tackles applied there on, looks like Maple, being wrapped up there by Thompson. And a ball up on half forward. Skills probably not up to the high standards we expected from these two sides, but an entertaining affair thus far as we're into time on in the opening term. Walsh doing a bit of right work, knocked down to McDougall. He got boots the ball. Will gain 10 metres or so as the dribble's out of play right in front of the broadcast centre wing here at Alfred Oval. McDougall collected 31 possessions and a goal last week. Traditionally played at across the forward line and injected himself as a bigger body in the midfield this season at times. One down by Walsh as Lovick coming through was going nowhere. And we'll get another stoppage. On true centre wing, umpire Brock Reed gets back underway. McGrath tried to take out the ruck, couldn't quite do so. Liston somehow got it back to McGrath. Lovick with the tackle, did well not to dump him on his head there. And we'll get another ball up. Defensive side of centre wing for East Point, or the attacking side of centre wing if you're a Ballarat fan listening to all the action this afternoon. Taylor brought the ground. Umpire says going nowhere. Mellington doing the tackling on this occasion. Of course, spent the season at East Point a number of years ago. And once again, straight to that contest. McGrath coming through. Shoveled at the hand pass, found its way there to the Swans and to Drever, but only went as far as East Point. Hucker comes across the Alfred Oval. Maybe overkicked it a little bit to his target. Now he's got a 3-1 contest. Did well in there, did Howard, to, in the end, neutralise what wasn't the perfect kick. And a stoppage is probably not a bad result for Jackson Merritt's men from that poor defensive kick from Hucker. So they can reset and try to get the clearance here, where they have been probably the slightly favoured sides thus far in the contest. Is in the clinches. And another ball-off's going to be a result. Stop-start is the affair this afternoon. Tight tussle, 1 point the margin. One down there by Walsh. Fisted forward by East Point. Might be coming the way of the Swannies though, but in the end the boundary line will beat Harwood as he tried to track that one back in for the Swannies. One of the new brigade this afternoon for Ballarat. We're back underway. McGrath reaching over the top. McDougall with the dance set was superb. And now East Point can get that run and gun going. To a vacant half forward line. Punched away from the back on this occasion by Whittaker. Johnston the first free out. Broke one tackle. Couldn't break the second, could he? Umpire said he did. Coming away with it was Canny. Left foot kick will come towards half forward. Maybe a fortuitous one here for East Point to work out. Then get it back towards McDougall with the stiff arm from 60. Drills it to the hot spot. Ballarat have some numbers across. Spoil will favour them. Garner shovels it out towards Gray. He goes back towards full back. They've got to be careful with Bishop. He got down low, coughed it up to Canny. Right foot snap. And just like that, the Kangas restore a 7-point margin. Consistent pressure around the contest. A dangerous handball from fullback from Gray was coughed up, and in the end, a goal. So a bit of a goal sneak in Liam Canny. He's fourth of the season, if you don't mind. So well done to Liam Canny, one on East Point. They moved to 3-1-19, leading the Ballarat Swans 2 goals straight 12 here live at the Alfred Oval. That's the one thing about East Point this season. We know forward of the footy. They're very dangerous. They only need a stiff sometimes to make something happen. Back underway with Walsh winning it down. Johnston coming through. Will go towards half forward. Trying to find Molan. The boundary line might just beat him. And in the end, if he tried to keep it, it slipped through his graphs and went out of bounds. So we'll get a ball in between half forward and centering on the outer side. 24.5 minutes played in this opening term. Back underway. Howling reached over the top, fell at the back to Johnston. He shoved at the hand pass. The kick goes towards centre half forward for East Point. Overcooked for Hucker. Off the deck go the Swannies to their own advantage. Overrunning on the second tech was Constable. Now the last goal kicker and Canny goes inside with the kick. Nice pass, finds Johnston, he marks. The captain plays on. Tried to low ball, but it was ricocheted to McDougall. And fortuitously, he fell on his lap and chipped over top and found Taylor. 45 from goal, went to play on, kicked it into a man of the mark. Geordie Johnson around the body. And it wasn't perfect, but almost another goal to East Point from a bit of a fortuitous luck. But across the face for a minor score, 3-2-20. leads 2 goals straight, 12. Yet to really find their gear this afternoon. Both these sides with ball in hand. Long kick from the outside by Bishop. Big tackle applied there on the Swans and on Harwood. Umpire says going nowhere. We'll get a ball up between half back and centre wing on the outside. 26 minutes played. We're back underway. Walsh wins it down. Johnston coming through. Just let the ball go, and in the end, ricocheted out of play. We'll get a ball in. Game high, 8-point margin the way of East Point. Tight tussle this afternoon in round 4 action in McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League here at the Alfredton Oval. We're back underway with Powling winning it down. Knocking to his advantage there for East Point was Colin. And the ball is not kept in by the Swans. We'll get another ball in. Colin, one of the new boys for East Point, averaging 25.5 game with the ball in hand this year. Found plenty of football. Liston overran this one. Umpires picked out a free kick and the advantage is paid the way of the Swans. Overlap hand pass was a good one there from Constable as they can drill it inside 50, looking to the lead of McGrath, which is a bit too wide for him. The big fella couldn't get down to it and the ball trickles out of play. We'll get a ball in. 35 out in the right forward pocket. Despite probably having territorial advantage for the majority of the term, Ballarat trail here by 8 points. Ball being locked down inside that forward 50, quite a lot. Walsh over the top, ricochet of the boot of Johnston. Umpire will pay the mark. True centre forward, a scrap is on once again. Q with the tackle, ball spilled free, smothered there by, it might have been Drever getting his hands up. Prendergast also involved with the Swans going nowhere. We'll ball it up just outside the paint. Approaching quarter time. Swans looking to get one back. Neither Ruckman touch it. McGrath shove the hand pass, taken away there by East Point. Worker by hand to Taylor the other side. Good smother again by the Swans. Their pressure's been superb here. Trying to keep it in there was Canny, but running out of real estate will get a ball in. Both coaches, I imagine, in the box be pretty happy with the pressure that both sides are putting on each other here. A number of good smothers and tackles and resulting in many skill errors going forward. It's a rather still afternoon in Ballarat despite the cold weather. Back underway. Clearance coming the way of East Point, the way of Colin. Fisted away by the Ballarat defence. Got it to Constable, to Gray, and they dump it inside 50 once again, but it'll dribble out to that right forward pocket. At the 28.5 minute mark, ball once again, 30 out from goal, inside 50, and another boundary throw in. Swans need to get some of their A-graders on the move here. The likes of Liston and Hooper maybe in the contest. Might be good enough to draw a free kick or get a quick snap on goal. Van Meel knocked it down towards Johnston, who was on the move. He couldn't come away with it. Big tackle applied there on Charleston. Maybe had a case for in the back, but the umpire said no, and we'll get a ball up. Toolman involved as well for East Point. Fisted forward. Off the deck there went East Point, but only as far as Prendergast. Quick snap towards the goal face, and should be Mark diving in again. Is Johnston with the grab. Ball used to be questionable by Johnston this afternoon. Had plenty of it. Looks towards centre half back with the kick. It's a nice one. Mark's taken there by Slater. Has the overlap to complete, and the mark's taken by East Point and by Hacker. Keeps it low. Taylor up to meet it. Can go inside with the kick. Has Lovic. He takes the grab and can complete it across the face of goal to Johnston. Now, was he pushed after it? Gave it off nevertheless. Left foot kick, we go inside 50. It's a beauty and wonderful use on display there by Coleman, finding McDougall about 45 out on a 45-degree angle in the late stages of this opening term as we're ticked over 30 minutes. So Bryson McDougall kicked forward this season thus far. As I mentioned in the pre-game, spent some time in the midfield this season. But this is his go-to. Kicks on its way, right to the line. Won't make the distance, and in the end, the Swannies do get it through for a minor score. You can see these deep pockets of Alfred and Oval. The ball still has to travel a little bit further than other grounds and couldn't quite get the distance on occasion, could McDougall. 3-3-21 leads, 2 goals straight, 12. Short ball by the Swans will find its way to Gray. Gray will pass it off to the captain and Gardner. He plays on and find Liston. Last year's best and fairest winner for the Swans. Gave to a man who was under all sorts of pressure. And in the end, as the siren sounds here, umpire does not pay the free kick, and it'll be quarter time action here in round 4 action of the Ballarat Football Netball League here at Alfred and Oval. The Swans 2 goals straight, 12, trail East Point 3-3-21. We'll take a break and we'll be back for the second term very shortly.
Push buttons to park magically. The McValue Bundle at Macca's. A choice of your favourite burgers, together with fries and drinks for just $26.95. Did we just find something the whole family can agree on? Push buttons to park magically. The McValue Bundle at Macca's. A choice of your favourite burgers, together with fries and drinks for just $26.95. Did we just find something the whole family can agree on?
Welcome back to Alfred and Oval, round 4 action, McDonald Ballarat Football Netball League. East Point leading 3-3-21 to Ballarat 2 goals straight 12. Goals to Canning, Walsh and Geordie Johnston, whilst for Ballarat, Hooper and Tom Mooney have the majors this afternoon as the players are making their way back into position, and will be underway once we get the final spectators off the ground. And in the early passages here, it's just been really a game of who can capitalise on the turnovers the most. Both sides look pretty good forward of the footy. A few costly mistakes in the middle of the ground have resulted in goals, and I think that's going to be the story of the afternoon. A real arm wrestle, real stop-start affair. Two young sides on paper, relatively in terms of senior experience here in the Ballarat Football Netball League. As we're ready pretty much to go here, back underway. East Point by game high, 9-point margin. Lead things and probably kicking with a slight advantage. The breeze to your left of screen. But a pretty still afternoon in Ballarat should mean scoring at either end shouldn't be a problem. We'll get back underway for the second term here. Be Powling and Van Meel to restart things here live at Alfred and Oval. Powling to win it down. Well done by Ballarat to get to Mooney. Off one step, he goes towards half forward. Lovick almost with the mark from the behind. Hucker by hand to Q to Lovick. Steps inside, and the kick's a good one to find its way to Johnston. Probably one of the best users in the entire competition is Lovick, and on full display there, got it to Matty Johnston. Captain for the East Point towards the outside, looking for Canny. Just bounces in front of the field of play and goes out of bounds. Johnston probably leads all comers once again with ball in hand, averaging 36 disposals across the opening couple of rounds. He's a superstar of this competition. Probably the only thing that lets him down at times is his ball use. Neither ruckman able to touch it. His ball got caught in the breeze a little bit. Quick hand pass was shoved at the back. Only as far as Drever. He went inside to Gray. Off to Liston. Took it in full motion. Last year's best and fairest winner. Hand pass across to Bade. He'll get Ballarat to move forward, looking for Perry on the lead. Elects to let it bounce. Now by hand, missed his target. Gets his own handball back, does Reece Perry. Goes inside with the 1-2. And then he left behind again. And then probably got the high tackle. Umpire was blindsided. And a minute of almost from Reece Perry. 2 missed hand passes. Maybe a high tackle. Got away with it. In the end, we'll get back underway here. One forward by Van Meel. Johnston with one hand. Remarkably got it to Molan. Hand pass off there was a good one. But the kick forward was Cairns. Will dribble inside 50. Walsh off the Nesta. Right foot snap from Aiden Nesta. Not bending back enough. A minor score. 3-4-22 leads. 2 goals straight 12. Bishop will bring it back in the field of play. Umpire will now wait Bishop to come on. Has men on the broadcast side. Runs his full measure. Gives the hand pass off to Fisher. And he tried to dump it out of the fence. And in the end, it's gone out of bounds on the full. Again, perceived pressure by East Point more than anything's created with opportunity for Taylor to move it forward. Steps inside. Sets up towards the top of the goal square. Walsh couldn't complete the mark. Ball spills free at full forward. Coming through there's Bade. Got away with, I've been spun 360. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll throw it in the air. Whistle's been put away in this one. Well, stoppages, tight tussle affair. Walsh in the ruck against Powling. He wins it down. There's a big man from Ballarat. Mallington went without it. Quick kick by Liston. Lovick has support in Van Meel. Inside with a hand pass. Gave it off there to Slater. Lines it up from 48, and he loves it. East Point moved the 4-4-28. They lead the Swans 2 goals straight 12 here live at Alfred and Oval. Goal from Geordie Slater there from 45. East Point's fourth of the afternoon and 2 in a row for them. Brings it out to 16 points. One down there by Powling. Johnston boots the ball. Dribbles towards centre half forward. Toolman went without on this occasion. Trying to come out of the fence here. The Swans now with Liston. Hot handball should be cut off by Taylor coming through. Ran into Bade. Canny comes in for support and locks things up. 45 from goal. Directly in front. East Point settling well in this term. They have the ball inside forward 50. Cairns with the tackle. Did well not to dump his opponent. And a repeat stoppage inside forward 50 for Jackson Merritt's men. 16 points your margin. Walsh and Powling. Powling over the top. Got it out there to Mooney. Looks towards a vacant half forward line and Prendergast and Q in a foot race. Q slapped it to his own advantage. Did well. The Q got it to Tillman. Well played. And he looks inside on that trusty left side. Has Johnston, the centre half forward. Marks on his chance. Geordie Johnston, 60 from goal. Wheels and deals towards full forward. And that's just perfect play by East Point. You can't do much about that in defence. Finding Whittaker in the lead. All started from back by Sammy Q. An inside kick from Tillman. Found Johnston. Wheeled around. And Whittaker in the lead. Marks 35 from goal. So Brad Whittaker missed one in the opening term. Their leading goal kicker thus far in season 2023. This one's a little bit more academic, directly in front. To make it 3 in a row for the Kangas. And he makes no mistake. East Point moved to 5 goals for 34, leading the Ballarat Swans. 2 goals straight, 12 here after 5 minutes of action in the second term. Great transition by East Point there. Capped up with the goal from their veteran, their spiritual leader, if you will, in Brad Whittaker. Comes the 5th individual goal kicker this afternoon for the Kangas, and we're back underway. With Van Meel getting the slap down, try to follow up his own work. Johnston will go off the deck. Ball will be on for a foot race on centre wing on the broadcast side. Ballarat should get there first with the numbers. Slightly overrunning it was Drever. Got the hand pass off to a teammate there in Squires. Hand pass coming from Huckett now of East Point. Got it to McDougall. Him running in full motion. Will drill it inside 50 looking for Walsh. Bounces in front of him. Fisher trails. Whittaker, the last goal kicker, bumped out of the way by Bishop. Broke one tackle and Bishop comes away with it. Kick will go out towards the outer side. Hooper gets the afterburners on. Picks it up on the second bounce. Slipped over though right in front of the boundary line. And in the end, probably had the luck of the boundary line to get it out of bounds. As we've been called holding the ball, and we'll get the ball in. Virtually opposite from our broadcast position on the outer side of the ground. Powling and Van Meel to jostle once again. Fell in a bit short, so Nita Ruckman could touch it. Ballarat trying to come away with it, coughed it up to Johnston. He drills it inside 50, finds Whittaker with the mark. Right on the paint. Probably just distance is slightly beyond Brad Whittaker. Johnston trying to make a few leads, can't find separation in the end. The last goal kicker in the match, Whittaker's going to have to unleash one from right on 50. Tough angle as well. So Whittaker at the start of his approach. Become the first mobile goal kicker if he can make the distance. In the end, it's going to hold up right in the goal square. Johnston got rid of the man. Coming over the top was Bishop. Got back to Johnston remarkably. Kick's gone backwards, if you will. Ball in dispute. Ballarat knock it out of play. Here's Liston. Has the man on the outside. Look away hand pass was superb. And the Swans work it towards the broadcast centre wing. Sliding was Perry. Couldn't complete the mark. O'Brien taken to the line there by a wonderful tackle by Cam Lovick. Sees him out of bounds. Pinned the arm. Did well not to dump him on his head. And we'll get a ball in right in front of us on centre wing. 22 points your margin. We'll get back underway here. Van Meel wins it down to Cairns. Off to Johnston. Wants to step into his right side. Drills it inside forward 50. Nice use of the body there in defence by Bishop. Got rid of Walsh and took the mark. Bishop chips it towards the half-back. Finds Liston. And he's able to run through the middle of the Alfredton Oval. Hand pass is a good one. Finds a target in Constable. Takes one bounce. Can run all the way to 50 if he likes. Thinks about a second. Doesn't take it. Lanes up the goals. Perry backing back will mark it nevertheless. And just outside the square, maybe. Umpire wants to talk to the goal umpire to make this a certain goal for Reece Perry. Says no. You'll have to go on the slight tight angle. Will you elect to go with a couple steps around on the left foot? Perry from a couple of metres out. Looks like he's going to go left foot around the body. And done enough. Pops it through. Ballarat's third of the afternoon, and a great bit of play through the middle of the ground by Taylor Constable. Set that one all up to put the margin back to 16 points here at the Alfredton Oval. Perry's first of the afternoon. The key forward from the Ballarat Swans becomes the eighth individual goal kicker this afternoon. 3 goals straight, 18 trails, 5-4-34. We're back underway at the Alfredton Oval with Powling winging it down. Quick hand pass over top, was looking for Mallington, but the East Point defender coming off the line will hold things up. Looks like it was Carson, the man who stole it and locked it inside the defensive side of the centre of the ground. Quick clearance kick from Cairns going nowhere. Smothered up the boot there by, looks like it was Squires getting the hands down low. And again, another repeat stoppage in the middle of the Alfredton Oval. Back underway here. Both ruckmen went to ground remarkably. Quick kick by Leston will fall inside forward 50. Coming across a nice grab in defence though, taken by Howard. Read the best of the boot. Short kick over the top has a loose man in McDougall. He marks the defensive side of centre wing on the other side, and he chips it over the top quickly to another loose player. East Point happy to go into possession here on the far side, virtually opposite our broadcast position. Kick was partially smothered. Coming across as Drever. They're looking for Whittaker down the line, but Drever, the young man in front, just knocked it away, and we'll get a ball in. On true centre wing, neutral territory for both sides. Back underway here. Powling, fisted straight where the ball came from, out of bounds. We'll get a throw in. Walsh isolated the full forward position for East Point. So they can get the clearance, they have a lot of space to run into. Bit of Payton's paddock, if you will. Back underway. One down there by the Swannies. Only as far, though, as East Point. Hand pass was a little bit obscured over the shoulder coming from Colden. Didn't really find a man. And again, another stoppage is the result. After a free-flowing start to start this second term, it's gone back into that real arm wrestle we saw for the majority of the opening quarter, with some repeat stoppages and lots of tackles from either side. One down by Powling. And as far as McDougall, remarkably got boots the ball. Didn't go very far, and in the end, another stoppage is the result, with Johnston coming off the bottom of the pack. Umpire gives the ruckman a bit of room to move. Powling wins it down. Squires comes away with it. Quick kick will go towards the outer side. Umpires, though, going to call it back. Got some high treatment. Did Squires. So it comes all the way back to him. One of the new brigade this year. Off one step, goes towards centre wing on the outer side. Teammate who was hot in pursuit. Quick kick coming forward there by Gray. Won't go as far as Nesta, though, getting back for East Point. And the Kangas come away with it with Cairns. High ball towards half forward. Whittaker went early, couldn't complete the mark at the back. Numbers suit the Swannies. They want to complete the overlap on the far side. Kick's got to be good. Coming across as Bade, and he held in front of Jeffries. Now Bade looks for the last goal kicker in Perry. Ball is weighted to bounce and favours East Point. They got numbers over top in Cairns. Now Jeffries steps in around, pounds a long one towards Whittaker at full forward, couldn't complete the mark. Walsh at the back, right foot snap around the body, and he gets his second. East Point moved the 6 goals, 440. The Ballarat Swans, 3 goals straight, 18 trail here at the Alfredton Oval. Mitch Walsh becomes the first mobile goal kicker of the afternoon, and the play on the broadcast centre wing. Kick coming from Bade towards Perry. Just elected to wait for the footy to bounce, and East Point were the first to react, and quick slingshot from centre wing. Kicked the goal at the back of the contest. Back underway here at Alfredton Oval. Powling knocks it down. Johnston went without it. Off the deck went the Swans towards the half-forward line. Allowed to pick this one up was Constable. Wobbly kick will go inside forward 50. Hand pass looking for O'Brien. Lovic got it to a teammate in Colin. Left foot kicks a smart one. Big fist coming from Powling over the top. Van Meel gathers. Goes back towards McDougall. Ends up in the hands finally of Bryce McDougall from the Colin hand pass. Has Cairns over the top in space. He'll go for a run. Send it towards the centre half forward position looking for Whittaker. Well done by Bishop though. Read it well off the boot and took a wonderful mark on his chest. Now he goes down the middle of the ground. Finds Constable. Being important with his touches. Has a loose man here on the broadcast side. That's where he goes with the kick. Mark should be taken there by Squires. Overlap should be Drever if he can get it there. He does. Has a man in the pocket. Kick was smothered by Carson. Does get to the man in the pocket though. Gives it back to Drever. He fumbled again. And now he's caught in the tackle and an ugly moment for the youngster there. Smothered kick. Had a loose man in the pocket. Then a costly fumble will lock things up inside forward 50. Tackle applied there by East Point and by Tom Colin, who's had a very important impact in this term with some handy touches and no bigger moment there with a big tackle inside defensive 50. And he'll get the clearance here remarkably and look towards the back and Cairns, and the kick's a beauty. He takes the mark. They look to switch it across the ground. Lovic into some space. Just sits up with the bounce. Lovic trying to shrug the tackle. Handballs it to his own advantage. Well done by O'Brien, made a contest of it, despite being outnumbered. East Point with the numbers, get it off there towards Hucker. Out the back he goes. Kick was smothered inside, only as far as Liston now. Off to Squires. Ballarat's trying to work it towards the forward pocket, but they have no one in particular to aim at. Howard will come away with it for East Point. Dumps it down the line, finds the vice-captain in Lovic. He takes the mark. Had Slater inboard. In the end, found Van Meel instead. He goes in full motion towards half forward. The kick's a beauty. Should find Taylor. Caney's got out the back. Decides to square up a bit more centrally. Was looking for Nesta. Stolen by the East Point player in Molan, who lines up and kicks the goal instead. Was take your pick. You had Molan. He had Nesta. Molan says, I'll take the goal, thanks. Kicks East Point 7th of the afternoon and the 4th of the term here at Alfredton Oval. Midway through the second term, queuing up inside forward 50 if you like. There East Point. Goal to Alex Molan, their 6th individual goal kicker of the afternoon. 7-4, 46 leads, 3 goals straight, 18 here. One down only to Mooney for Ballarat. He goes inside forward 50, dropping the mark there. Was a Ballarat forward, now wrapped up by Carson. And 45 out from goal. We will get a stoppage. As we approach time on in this second term, it's important the Swans find a couple just to give themselves a bit more confidence more than anything with ball in hand. Their ball use has been questionable. One down, Taylor trying to come away with it. Powling, wrapped up by McDougall. Hand pass at the back there by East Point. Quick kick from Hucker. Quick hand pass there by Drever. Coughed up to Taylor. He gave it off to the last goal kicker in Molan. An open 50 to aim at and finds Jeffries on the lead. Takes the mark. Good ball use going forward from the youngster, Alex Molan. Jack Jeffries, who we've seen in the middle of half back on a wing and this time at full forward. Bit of a magnet swinger, if you will, for Jackson Merritt this season. Will line up pretty much directly in front and will kick from about 45 metres or so. Starts his approach. Jeffries. Kick is on its way. Goal Pie does not move an inch. Right over top of his hat. East Point moved to 8 goals 4. 52 leading the Swans 3 goals straight. 18 here in round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Network League live from Alfredton Oval. It's all East Point here. 3 goals in a row. 8 for the afternoon now. A game high 34-point margin. Back underway at the Alfredton Oval. One down by Walsh doing some ruck work. Couple of goals up forward. The only multiple goal kicker on the ground is Mitch Walsh. Back underway. Powling only as far as Johnston. Boots the ball, will dribble to the outer side. Foot race on in earnest. Canny got there first, but coughed it up to Gray, who went out the back, couldn't find his target. Molan got the hand pass. Gardner got a handy hand in there. Quick kick by Canny will go inside 50, and it's all East Point at the moment. Wobbles in there, fortuitously falls in the lap of Nesta. He marks directly in front and line up from 45 himself. Maybe had one moments ago taken off him by Molan, and to make it 3 in about 2 minutes, Aiden Nesta, two-time premiership player here at East Point, will line up. It's a replication of the contest last season between these two sides, where East Point piled on the goals in the second term against Ballarat and kicked away in that one. Looking to do it here again with Nesta for their 6th goal of the quarter. He comes in. It's not going to make distance because, well, in the end, it misses everything. It's a horrible strike of the boot. Didn't even think it would make it from there, but has wobbled out in the full. Ballarat playing for fullback. Short kick from Drever should have been cut off there by Hucker, who slightly overran it from the overcooked kick from Drever. Ball goes out of play. We're going to ball in 45 from goal. Still inside forward 50 for East Point, kicking left of screen in this term. Back underway. Powling reaching over the top, only as far as Johnston. His hand pass towards Molan. Overrun on this occasion. Been impressive though. Squires dumps it out of the fence. Out the back it goes towards East Point. Kick was partially smothered. Mooney on the gather. Off to Gardner. Coughed it up with the hand pass. Slapping it forward there was Howard. Couldn't quite find the footy. Quick kick was from Mallington. Ricocheted out of play. We'll get a ball in. Time on second term. 8-4. 52 leads. 3 goals straight. 18 here on live at Alfredton Oval. Ball's back underway. One down there by the Kangas. Crunching tackle applied by Ballarat, but no free kick, no prior opportunity, says the umpire for the East Point player and Hucker. We're back underway. Howling again from a long way. Wins it down. Away though is East Point. They wobble it inside forward 50. Out the back, Bade. Hotly pursued there by Jeffries. Ballarat have the numbers. Hand pass over top's a good one. They can work it towards the broadcast side, maybe. Mucking around by hand. Coughed up the goal square. Nesta kicks the goal. And if that doesn't sum up Ballarat thus far today by turnover, I don't know what will. Hand pass was smothered. Nesta got the crumbs. Kicks the goal. And after his awful shot at the set shot goal, he gets the goal from the goal square. Been a very poor display from Chris Mabel's men in this term. Costly turnovers and capped off there in defence. Resulted in a goal to Aiden Nesta. We're back underway with Powling winning it down. Gets off to Mallington, who wobbles one out towards the far side. A vacant centre wing. East Point react first. Q, who's had some important moments. Ball use is superb. Finds his target. Mark taken there by Hucker, who was dragged over the neck, and the umpire says it's just too late and it's going to give a 50-metre penalty. From bad to worse for Ballarat, and a disastrous second term could be capped off here with Hucker lining up on a slight 45-degree angle from a 35-metre kick or so. 50-metre penalty, adjudged by the umpire, will become East Point's 9th individual goal kicker in the opening half, if you don't mind. Starts his approach at the 22.5-minute mark. They've kicked the last 4. They now kick the last 5. Goal going the way of East Point. Goal number 10 for the afternoon. They have been superb. Capped off there with a 50-metre penalty. Yes, maybe slightly fortuitous, but it's a goal in the book, and that's all that matters for the Kangas. 10 goals for 64. Leads 3 goals straight. 18 here live at Alfredton Oval. Back underway here with umpire Brock Reed. Powling wins down to Mooney. with the hand pass towards centre half forward. Bouncing ball. Quick kick was from Carson. Diving was Johnston. Got it at the back and to his brother and Geordie. And a nice mark reaching over top there, taken by Charleston. Maybe copped his opponent as he took the wonderful grab. Pounds it inside forward 50. Bishop with the fist brings it down. Taylor trying to slip at the back for East Point. Does he go off the deck? Near side, minus score. Couldn't get it between the two big sticks. Could Geordie Taylor on that occasion. 10-5-65. Leads Ballarat 3 goals straight, 18. Short kick inboard. We'll find Perry. He takes the mark. Deep in his defence. He's played at either end at times, up forward this afternoon, but not accustomed in defence. Johnston flew early, couldn't complete the mark over the top. Bounced off the shin there of McGrath, and out of play it goes. East Point desperate to keep things going this term. Ballarat desperate for the half-time siren and a regroup. Blown out in this term. And we're back underway. Neither ruckman really do much with it as Johnston comes away with it, the clearance. We'll send one inside 50. It was a clever outside the foot kick. Third by the Cherry. Bishop couldn't bring it down. Umpire maybe slightly blindsided from a high tackle from Whitaker coming across. In the end, he elects to throw it in the air inside forward 50. 10-5-65 leads 3 goals straight, 18, and we're back underway. Neither ruckman touch it. Johnston coming through. Got the hand pass off to the hot Molan. Wrapped up by Liston this time, going nowhere. And we'll get another ball up. Molan, Colin, all having impacts in this term for East Point, the new brigade this season. Back underway with Johnston trying to shove out another hand pass, but going nowhere in the tackle. Moved 5 or so metres forward of goal. Another one here. Be another dagger into the heart of Ballarat Swans fans here. With Powling winning it down. Gray knocks it to his own advantage. Charleston coming through. O'Brien sees it to the line. And we'll get a ball in. Canny doing the pursuing there for East Point. We'll get back underway. About 45 from goal now. Throw-in's a little short. Favours Powling down to Mooney. Quick kick. Carson used the body early. Couldn't complete the mark. And seeing over the line there was Prendergast. And we'll get a ball in. Clearing defensive 50. The Swans now have the ball in a more neutral territory on the defensive side of centre wing. We're back underway. Howling wins it down. Mallington slops it only as far as Cairns. Left foot kick will bounce in front of Charleston, who's happy to see it at the back. Elected to knock it in towards Molan. Turns on the afterjets. Gets away from one. Stops, props, assesses his options, and finds a target inside forward 50 in Canny. And the youngster was superb again. Ran it onto it at full pace. Didn't blaze a goal. Had enough smarts to send the pass, and Canny will line up on a slight angle from about 45 out. Kicked 7 goals in this term. 5 of them have been unanswered thus far. As we approach 27 minutes in the later stages of the quarter and half time, Canny comes in. Kick is on its way, and the kick is good again. East Point have 11 now. 11-5, 71 leads 3 goals straight, 18. It's a mauling at the moment at Alfred and Oval. Canny joins the likes of Molan and Walsh as mobile goal kickers this afternoon. Nesta, Slater, Johnston, Whitaker, Jeffries also on the score sheet for the Kangas, whilst for Ballarat, Hooper, Mooney and Perry, the goal kickers thus far as we approach half-time. Back underway, Ballarat knock it forward. Johnston again with the hand pass, got it to McDougall, goes back to Van Meel, and they work it by hand here off to a teammate in Colin. Comes across goal, defensive, and finds Toolin. Plays on with his non-preferred, finds Lovic. So Lovic has it on the far side, virtually opposite from our broadcast position. Such an efficient user of the football. Doesn't let me down with that kick. It's a beauty. Finds McDougall in between a few. He plays on. High footy will go inside 50. Johnston couldn't quite bring it down the second by the cherry. Bounced up like a cat, though. Go to his brother and Matty Johnston. Right foot snap. It's all but the bounce, and it's all the way through. East Point, 12 goals, 5-77 lead. Ballarat, 3 goals straight, 18. Matthew Johnston with the right foot snap. Arguably one of the goals of the day. Becomes the Kangas' 9th individual goal kicker in the opening half of football. Wonamai, the Kangas captain there, becoming their 9th individual goal kicker in the late stages of the opening half. And they're not done with here after banging on 9 goals in this quarter. Quick kick will come out towards the broadcast side. Picked up there by Constable, comes inside to a teammate Mellington, off to Liston. Left foot kicks a beauty inside forward 50. Wouldn't expect anything less from last year's Ballarat Best and Fairest winner. Find a target in McGrath inside forward 50. A little bit of something to smile about for some frustrated Swans fans here this afternoon. McGrath will lined up on a 45-degree angle kick, about 35 out from goal. McGrath's kick is on its way. It's across the face, and their first blemish of the afternoon. 3-1-19 trails 12-5-77. We've played almost 30 minutes in the second term here. Lovic for the first time will bring the ball from the fullback position. Has Molan down the middle, finds him. He marks. Comes across and finds his teammate in Colin. Called the play on. Goes on the non-preferred down the line. Bouncing ball. Gets out the back, Van Meel, slaps it towards a vacant half-forward line. Bishop should get there first. Wants to wheel around to his trusty right side, off to Mellington. From a standing start, gave it back to Bishop, who gave it back to Mellington. Chips at 15 metres over the top. Bouncing ball was picked up by Gray, back to Mellington. Got it off to Drever. Inside kick was a good one. Nice play by the Swans. Marks taken there by Riley Constable. On true centre wing on the broadcast side. Hooper led early and is rewarded for his hard work up the ground. He takes the mark. Short kick over the tops, also good, but dropping the mark there was the captain in Gardner. And now Nesta gives it off there towards Cairns, who got boots the ball, was maybe running slightly too fast. Molan kept on going, handballed it inside, and East Point just running out of time there with Johnston. As half-time here at the Alfredton Oval. 3 goals, 1-19. The Swans trail East Point. 12 goals, 5-77. 9 goals to 1 in that terms the story. A mauling from the Kangas. A very uber impressive term as they may start their quest back on the winning track after a loss last week to Daly. We'll take a break here from Alfredton Oval. We'll be back soon in about 10 to 15 minutes' time.
We'll meet, we will. I'll meet you there. At the club, at the top of the hill. At the club, at the top of the hill.
push buttons to park magically.
The McValue Bundle at Macca's. A choice of your favourite burgers, together with fries and drinks for just $26.95. Did we just find something the whole family can agree on?
At number 1, it's Ballarat's Andrew Hooper. He works his way into the stoppage, picking up the crumb, takes a shot from the pocket for a much-needed 6-pointer. At number 2, it is the Kookaburra's Toby Hutt. Let's watch the play unfold.
Off hands, slip around the bodies from Toby Hart. Was it touched? And he has his second. Sebastopol who get the first and the third turn.
At number 3, it's Redan's ever-crafty Isaac Grant. He gets the footy from a stoppage, picks it up, kicks on his right through a bit of traffic. Just a beautiful all-round goal. At number 4, it's Borough's Hugo Paps. Well, he strokes the tackle, scores the goal. Let's hear the call.
Steve's right foot dribbling kick will bounce all the way through.
At number 5, it's Bacchus Marsh, Joel Freeman. The commentator gets all excited about this one. Let's hear the call.
Welcome back to the Alfred Oval for round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Half-time, East Point. Well, 12-5, 77 leads. 3-1-19 here. One-sided affair in that second term with 9 goals to 1. 6 unanswered from the Kangas has asserted their dominance in this contest as they're on their way to their second victory this season in the Ballarat Football Netball League. 9 individual goal kickers for them. 2 to Canny, Molan and Mitch Walsh, whilst Nesta, Slater, Johnston of both varieties, Matt and Geordie, Whitaker and Jeffries have the others, whilst for Ballarat, Hooper, Mooney and Perry are the individual goal kickers for them. For the Swans, it's all about pride in the second half here. Probably a bridge too far to say they're going to slam on 9 goals themselves in a term, but they can just draw back a bit of respectability and maybe find some hidden pieces for the next few weeks as they try to reset their season moving forward. We'll get back underway here at the Alfred and Oval with Powling unofficially really winging that one down. Mallington with a quick kick towards centre half forward. Constable dragged without it. Umpire waves play on. Lovic picks this one up, gave it off to Johnston. His right foot kick coming out to a vacant centre wing. Canny in the foot race leads it. Right on there by the youngster in Wardley to get across and see it to the boundary line. For the Swans, the likes of no Maple, no Kennedy, no Simpson, no Van der Hoovel this afternoon. Just shows probably the loss in depth, and of course a mass exit in the off-season doesn't help that as well. Back underway, Van Meel shoves it forward. Mallington went off the deck, probably kicked his own teammates' hands in the end, in danger. Johnston stood up in the tackle, coughed it up though as far as Mooney to Liston, and the Swans will dump it out of the fence with the wobbly one. Hooper on the half volley, did well to almost trap it in front, dives in the second time, shoved it as far as only Slater, and the Kangas will eventually lock things up here pretty much in the centre of the ground in the opening minute of the third term. Game high 58-point margin. We'll get back underway here. Powling over the top, wins it down. One of the shining lights in a horrid afternoon in the ruck with his ruck prowess. Injury-free, one of the best in this competition. We're back underway. Wins it down again. Taylor, sharked it though. Johnston, slightly overrun it. 2 East Point players collide heads. Mullen, one of them. Looks a little bit worse for wear. We'll keep an eye on him. Liston, back with the action, is locked up and we'll get a ball up. Mullen back to his feet. Friendly fire. Kicked a couple of goals. Arguably the best on ground in the opening half. A little head knock will be assessed, but looks okay to continue. Might end up with the footy here. Went out the back as far as Drever. Big tackle applied there by Conlon. And it's gone, holding the ball. Free kick will go the way of the Kangas in the middle of the ground. There's a blood rule for Molan. The claret falling after that friendly fire. Got back to his feet unassisted. So I imagine he'll be okay. Tough customer. Been in the thick of things. A couple of goals this afternoon and a superb second term. This man has been too far behind him. Conlon will get us back underway. He plays on. Goes towards half forward with the kick. Johnston from the side. Umpire said to hit the turf. Didn't pay the mark. Bishop wrapped up in a crunching tackle there by Whitaker. And we'll get a ball up between half forward and centre wing on the broadcast side. Geordie Johnston just asking the umpire, how much longer do I need to hang on to that one? Had a fair chunk of it. Van Meel fisted forward. Mallington, though, first to get there. Hand pass coming there from Gray. Only as far as Van Meel. Dumps it inside 50 and read up the best there by the Swans and by Wardley. Takes the mark, goes short, finds Liston. He plays on. Dumps it towards centre wing. McGrath in front. Maybe slightly pushed him back by Howard. Played it well to get away with it. Howard over the top. Finds the target and Hucker. Goes inside to Tulin. Left footer looks to retreat. Kick is a dangerous one backwards, but strong hand shown by East Point, by Conlon. So Conlon with it. Looks inside with the kick. It's a good one. Finds his target mark taken there by the veteran in Carson. Multiple time premiership player. 2018 and 19, of course. East Point premiers in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Chips over top. Finds another dual premiership player in Taylor. Takes on the man of the mark with some fancy footwork. Drills it inside 50. Backing back. Mark taken there by Bishop. Held it well on the fence. Taking a few nice intercept grabs. Comes out towards the broadcast side. Almost the mark taken there by Bade. Gets away from the whoopie tackler. Handball on top's a good one. Found Constable. Got it inside to a teammate who took him on, but can't knock him past Cam Lovic. They take the advantage. Hucker over top finds Jeffries from 50. Wobbly ball will go to the hot spot. Ballarat have numbers in the fence. Liston attacked it at full velocity. Didn't gather the footy though. Jeffries turns on the afterburners. Gets away with the outside of the boot. Kicks his second of the afternoon. Again, not clean in defence, the Swannies. And East Point make them pay. Jeffries kicks his second here at the Alfred Oval. (13-5-83) leads 3-1-19 here. Round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. 64 points the way of East Point. Had a very indifferent start in 2023. They smashed Melton South in their first game in round 2. Were obliterated by Darley in return and are now putting the Swans to the sword this afternoon in round 4 action. Johnston in the middle of the ground, the Geordie variety. Wasn't on with the 1-2. Hacker goes long towards half forward. Punched away there by the Swans defence. Constable with it. Took on the tackle. And is gone. Third time we've seen that in this term. Ballarat Swans players trying to bust their way through and getting caught. Geordie Johnston looks to link up with his brother. He left it for McDougall coming through. He marks on his chest. So Bryson McDougall will line up pretty much directly in front from 48 metres or so. Been interesting to see the swap between him and Johnston this afternoon from full forward to the midfield. Trying to get a bigger body around the contests is something that was identified in the off-season by Jackson Merritt. And McDougall, though, does this so well, lines up the goals, feeds at the last minute for a minor score. 13-6-84 leads 3-1-19. Looks like it'll be Drever to bring the ball back in the field of play. Short kick down the middle is a good one. Finds his target in Bishop. The number 1 for the Swans, would being amongst their best so far. Finds Liston. Long ball towards centre wing. Perry marks on his chest. Well done, Reece Perry. Plays on immediately. Wobbly kick, though, will be cut off. Slater at her best. Takes the mark. Dumps a long one down the line. Has plays everywhere. Arriving late was Bishop. Did well not to infringe. Drever by hand. Got it to Liston. Towards centre wing. Prendergast did well to trap it. Handball was good. Here go the Swannies. Long kick inside. Forward 50 from Harwood. Towards Hooper. He's got his jumper being held. And the umpire saw it as well. Free kick. Hooper almost took the one-hander. But he'll line up for his second of the afternoon. And it just shows Swans fans in the coach's box that they get the little fella one out. He's still got enough presence and goal scoring ability. Tony Lockett medalist, of course, a couple seasons ago. And used all his experience there. Outsized in the height department, but used the body well. Drew the free kick. Should kick his second from about 35. Hooper comes in, pops through that goal. Number 11 of the season for Andrew. And the Ballarat Swans break a run of, I believe that was 8 goals by East Point on the bounce. Ballarat get one back. As I said, it was 8 goals from East Point in a row in this contest. Blown away the margin, blown away the game. One against the run of play for some Swans fans who stuck around happy this afternoon. Back underway in the middle of the ground. Johnson slaps it to his own advantage. Up and down the ball goes. Matt Johnston waiting down. Got down low. Big tackle applied there by Maple. Umpire Reid lets this go on for a while, and the signs I will ball things up centre half forward for East Point. 13-6-84 leads 4-1-25. And we're back underway. Neither ruckman touch it. Garner got away from the whoopie tackler. Was dumped after he kicked. Ball in dispute. O'Brien did well in the contest. Got it to Prendergast. Wobbles it inside forward 50. Tillman trapped it. Looks for the 1-2 with Q. Gets it. And handballs it over top to a vacant space. Mooney, though, steals it. Sweeping ball to Hooper. 48. Has a vacant goal square to aim at. Has a pot shot and pops through 2 in a row for the Swans. Only needs a sniff. The sniff does the little man and kicks his third for the afternoon. Again, all class was Andrew Hooper. His man, Jacob Tillman, done a relatively good job on Hooper for the majority of the afternoon, but 2 goals in a minute makes Hooper's day look a lot more flattering with 3 majors now. He's the leading goal kicker on the ground, remarkably. 5-1-31 trails 13-6-84. We're back underway. Van Meel wins it down. Liston traps it. Wrapped up immediately, and he's going nowhere. We'll get our secondary ball up at the 10-minute mark of the third term here at the Alfred Oval. Powling knocks it to a vacant space. Johnston trapped it on the second attempt. Although his handball was a bit costly, went back and got it in Matty Johnston and go up there to Charleston. He goes towards half forward, but reading it best of the boot. Mark taken there by Bishop. Standing side by side on that occasion with Geordie Johnson. His kick, costly, should be turned over. Cairns with it. Left foot kick will go towards full forward, but backing back Swans have numbers. So Ballarat hold things up in the fence with young Wardley. Comes across the ground. Should find Bishop, who continues to run on. Has Constable 15 metres or so if he wants. Wants to go shorter to Gardner. Comes inside with the kick. The dangerous one has to be pinpoint perfect. It wasn't. Canny got a hand in there. McDougall broke the tackle. At the back he goes to Van Meel. His right foot kicks a good one towards centre half forward. Should be marked by Hucker. At the back they've got numbers and should find his target in there. Well played by East Point. Johnston marks. At 45 metres out, slight angle to work with. Player of his talent, though, very adept from these positions on the ground. And again, just East Point on the turnover. Ballarat bit one off in the corridor, coughed it up. Couple slingshot kicks, shot on goal on its way. Johnston managed one this afternoon. Kick is on its way, starts at near side. Not going to work its way back. It's a minus score. 13-7-85 leads 5-1-31 here. Live at the Alfred Oval, round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Bishop from fullback goes short, finds his target in Mooney. Canny asks to stand, and Mooney's able to roll out of the fence. High ball towards centre wing, looking for Powling. Big fella couldn't quite drag that one in. East Point have numbers on the outside to lock things up. Ball virtually opposite from our broadcast position on the outer side of the Alfred Oval. There's a little bit of push and shove there, but we'll get back underway here. Powling went early, won it down again. East Point, though, once again with the clearance. Coughed it up this time, though. Mellington will send it inside, forward 50. Looking for Hooper. Tillman, read it best this time. Stood strong, took the mark, plays on immediately. Goes towards the outer side. Finds his target, Mark, taken there by Cairns. In between the half-back line and centre wing out there. Can go inside the Carson if he likes. Plays on, dumps it down the line. One for the big high flyers. Powling, the only one to really get hands to it. Dropped it. Opens the door here for East Point again. Towards full forward. Johnston, a one-on-one with Bishop. Bishop did well to knock it to his own advantage. In the end, he was held without it. Well played by Mitchell Bishop. Big one-on-one win. It's the little moments in this quarter just to, again, inspire some confidence into Ballarat. Down the middle, the kick's a poor one. Cairns gives it off to a teammate. And Nestor was just a little slow. Umpire wave play on. City must have got a handball there. And in the end, a free kick will go the way of the Swans, despite not the original one maybe going the way of the fans. So Ballarat in defence with Gardner. Goes long towards the outer side. Looking for Powling. Walsh with the fist. Knocks it away from him. Picked up there by the Swans. Handball at the top. Finds his target there in Hartwood. Looking for McGrath. Has 2 to beat in the air. They both went to ground. Might open the door here for McGrath. Looks for the hand pass towards half forward. They have a vacant 50. Hooper with the tackle. Johnston. He coughed it up. Ballarat try to rush it forward. Umpire picked out incorrect disposable throw. Johnston, the beneficiary, goes towards centre back. Finds Charleston. Looks down the middle of Alfred Oval. Pinpoint pass is a good one. Mark taken there by Molan. He plays on, takes on the man of the mark. Flips it over the top to a teammate who fumbled in Cairns. And now Ballarat will go the other way. Mooney, the short pass. Found Powling towards centre forward. Johnston backing back in front of Andrew Hooper. Took the mark. Cops a little bit of attention to the captain of East Point. Asks men to come towards the broadcast side. That's where the kick goes. Q should mark, didn't. Has enough time though to get his kick away down the line. Whitaker with separation. Takes the mark on pretty much true centre wing on the broadcast side. Looks to the corridor. Kick was good. McDougall has it. Plays on. Over the top to Lovic. Hand pass off there to Colin, but he's gone holding the ball. Ran around to his left side and couldn't get a clean disposal away, and the tackle was good by the Swannies. Come out towards Gardner and half back on the broadcast side. Has Drever short, and that's where he elects to go, the captain. Noah Drever with it. Waits for the cavalry to arrive down the line. Early lead by McGrath's where he goes to. Kick wasn't a bad one. Waiting down good was O'Brien. Got the crumbs. Runs his full measure. Kicks towards half forward. Knocked away in defence there by Thompson. In front was Bade, who's been swung forward in this term to provide a different option. Young Thompson, though, was up to the task. Knocked it away. We're back underway and half forward. No Ballarat ruckman, so an easy knockdown for Walsh. Straight to McDougall, going nowhere. Umpire Brock Reed says, give it to me at half forward. This time Powling will elect the fly. Wins it down, but only as far as Charleston. Hand pass found McDougall. Has the overlap runner in Molan. He goes inside with the hand pass to Cairns. Off to Conlon. Back towards Molan. Broke the tackle to Charleston. Has McDougall. Decides to just chip it to him, and he takes the mark. Well played by East Point. Didn't panic. Bryson McDougall has it on the attacking side of centre wing. Stab pass, finds his target. Mark taken there by Kenny. Now wave to play on by the umpire as he dumps it inside forward 50. With the height, Whitaker's got the mismatch and took the mark. Pretty much uncontested against Drever. Right on his limit. Has McDougall to his right, decides to set this up to the top of the goal square for the high flyers in the end. Bishop, the only man who really asserted his dominance in the end, took the grab for Ballarat. He went down the middle 30 metres or so to Constable. Has Powling out here on the broadcast side. It's a good kick to find him. Powling plays on. Inside to Bade. Takes the grab. Gives it off to Constable again and continued to run towards half forward. Backing back there was Slater. Couldn't complete the mark. Hooper now with the crumbs. Gives it off to a teammate there in Quinlan. And he goes into towards full forward, but Q in the hole takes the mark. Loose man in defence. Has options on the broadcast side. Slater, the obvious one. That's where the kick goes. He marks. Kicked a 1 for goal in that last term to really kick things off for East Point. Slater dumps it down the line. Walsh crashed the back, couldn't take the mark. Waiting down there was Drever. Dangerous kick inboard. Might work out. And downfield paid. Yes, it is by Brock Reed. Kick came there from Maple, was dumped as he kicked. It's going to result in a shot on goal, and the first man to put his hand up was Andrew Hooper. He's the hot hands, kicked the last couple in this match, and will make it 3 in a row. And he's 4th of the afternoon if he's successful here from about 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle. 18 and a half minutes gone in the third term, and despite little opportunity, Hooper for number 4 comes in with the kick now, starts it right, lets it work back, and slaps into the woodwork for a minor score. A rare miss from one of the league's leading goal kickers this season. 12 goals now, Andrew Hooper, but a minor score on that occasion. 5-2, 32 trails, 13-7, 85. East Point go down the middle. Powling slapped it down. Well done there by Ballarat to get it to Liston, who dumps one towards full forward. Numbers favour East Point. Perry crashed back, almost took the mark. Ball in dispute, bounced between a couple. Constable, right foot snap, is bending, but not enough. Another miss. 5-3, 33 trails, 13-7, 85. First real repeat entry for a while from Ballarat, but can't get it done on the scoreboard. Short ball in finds Conlon. He'll play on from Perry. And gets a short ball to Carson. Has Slater on the broadcast side. Kick was awful. Almost stubbed his toe with that one to Chris Carson. Points to the turf and says, my bad, boys. As the ball trickles out of play, we'll get a ball in on the half-forward line. McGrath having a run in the ruck here against Van Meel. And we're back underway. Fisted it down. Ballarat just asserting some dominance around the clearances here, and Mallington's going to be rewarded with a free kick against Taylor. Can they get some bang from their buck, if you will? Mallington sets it up towards the top of the goal square. Perry, the obvious target, couldn't take the mark. Hooper weighing down, gets boot to goal, and does kick number 4. 6 goals, 339, trails 13-7, 85. Hooper has number 13 for the season and goal number 4 for the afternoon. Ticked over in the time on in the third quarter. 3 in a row to Andrew Hooper in this match will give the Swans something to cheer about. 6-3-39, trails 13-7, 85. A couple more will bring a smile to Chris Maple's face in the box, but it's really been a very professional performance from East Point thus far. McGrath wins this down, stolen by Johnston, boots the ball, taken away there by Gray. He goes off the deck towards the outer side, a vacant area for Liston to run onto. Does well to slap to his own advantage, where he had teammate and support as well. Out the back they go. Smothered there by Johnston. One by Hucker. Over the top. Was trying to give it back to Geordie Johnston. Taylor gets in there. Dumped in the tackle. Was able to shovel out a hand pass to a teammate who was brought to ground. And a stoppage is the end result. Ball is on centre wing on the other side. Virtually opposite from our broadcast position. And we are back underway. Van Meel wins it down. Big tackle applied there by Jesse Cairns. Found a real spot in the midfield this season, Jesse Cairns. Previous year, seen him down the forward line, down back, and worked on that tank in the off-season. He's got a gig regularly in the midfield this year thus far. Taylor went off the deck. Hucker can go over the top to find McDougall. Streaming towards half forward. The leader, Jeffries, is honoured, and at full extension, he completes the mark. So Jack Jeffries will lie for his third. The only goal kicker in this term for East Point. The only goal kicker in this term besides Andrew Hooper, if you don't mind, will line up from about 45 on a 45-degree angle. Jeffries will come in. Kick is on its way. Swings across the face for a minor score. 13-8, 86 now leads 6-3-39. Bishop will bring it back in the field of play for Ballarat. Had Drever short in the pocket. Decides to go to the outer side, though. Bit too tall for Gray. Might open the door here for East Point. Charleston off to Molan. Right foot kicks a clever one. Just bounced in front of McDougall. Couldn't get away from one whoopie tackler. Did the second time, though. Centers the pass. Looking for Johnston backing back. Didn't complete the mark. Umpire wave play on. Charleston knocked it down. Mooney stole it. Ballarat come away with it. Running his full measure is Constable. Dumps it out wide looking for Perry. He marks. Hooper's breaking for him to give him something down the line. Would have to try to laser him in between 3 or 4 players, so he decides to go short and back to Constable, continue to run on, being one of the Swans' best. Tyler Constable comes into the corridor, should find its target in Drever. He plays on, runs his full measure, short pass is good one, mark taken by Mallington. Gives it back to the youngster, steps back inside, lowers the eyes, finds Perry. One of the better passages to play the Swans have had this afternoon. And Reece Perry will line up pretty much directly in front for his second of the afternoon. The Swans have kicked the last 3 in this one. Perry at the 24.5-minute mark to make it 4 in a row against the Tide. Had a very indifferent day, has Perry. A couple of goals would make himself feel a little bit better as he continues to grow into confidence into season 2023. Perry comes in with the kick and holds its line enough. Pops it through. The Swans 7th of the afternoon. They move the 7 goals 3-45. East Point 13-8, 86 lead the way. Live at the Alfred Oval. Some respectability coming back onto the scoreboard as the sunshine has broken through here at Alfred Oval. The weather has held off for the majority of the afternoon to make it a pretty much perfect day for football despite the cold weather and what is the unofficial gather round, if you will, in the Ballarat Football Netball League. All games played this afternoon here in Ballarat. The Swans have it in the middle of the ground, locked up for a secondary ball up. 7-3-45, trails 13-8, 86. Margin at one point was 64 points. Johnston will go inside 50 with a kick. Ballarat have the loose man in the fence. Despite the fumble, should work this out. Good tackle applied by Canny, though. Creates a contest inside forward 50. McDougall, hand pass to no one in particular, and Bishop comes away with it. He's been super. High ball towards the broadcast side. Should be cut off, though. Garner just outsized by Carson. He'll go short and find Johnston. Johnston with it. There's now a wave to go by the umpire. Measured pass, was looking for Bryson McDougall. He couldn't take the mark. Hand pass to Canny. Dumps it inside forward 50. Backing back there was Bishop. Couldn't complete the mark with the one hand. Knocked it towards the boundary line. Gray's happy to see it over. East Point, for the first time in about 20 minutes, though, really get to lock one inside their forward 50. Credit to the Swans for their fight back since halftime. They would have been utterly embarrassed with the halftime scoreline. As I said, that respectability has been clawed back on the scoreboard. Was 164 points here in the early stages of the third term. Johnston to Johnston, if you don't mind, from the boundary line towards the top of the goal square. Needed a kind bounce. Ball in dispute. Jeffrey runs his full measure. Hand pass to the top of the square. Molan gets boots ball. Was smothered. Goal-saving smother, and the Swans survive. For the moment, anyway, as Mooney's hand pass was poor. Still in dispute. East Point with the pressure in the pocket. And in the end, Mooney does enough to make amends from his hand pass being smothered to see it out of play. 30 metres out. The right forward pocket is where the ball will be thrown in from. 13-8, 86 lead, 7-3-45. Thrown and fallen short, favoured Van Meels, slapped the back where it came from, and we'll get a restart with another ball in at the 20 and 7.5 minute mark. Now Jumpai comes in an extra metre or so just to give the ruckman a fair duel. At the back there, the Ballarat player touched it before the ruckman did. Umpire didn't pick that up as Constable gave it off to Fisher. He dumps it out of the fence. Out on the full as the siren sounds. Now they're going to allow Charleston to have a shot. He won't probably make the distance from 75, I would have thought, regardless. I think it might be just a formality coming up here for Charleston from 70. I would doubt he would register a score from this range. But for the sake of things, might get to unleash a barrel. Just after the siren. As he got it within him, kick is on its way. It's not a horrible effort, might I add. It's going to go right to the square. And was fisted through, but I don't believe the score will count offhand. So 3/4 time here at the Alfred Oval. We'll take a break and be back for the final term action and live for round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League.
Push buttons to park magically.
The McValue Bundle at Macca's. A choice of your favourite burgers, together with fries and drinks for just $26.95. Did we just find something the whole family can agree on?
Back here for the fourth final quarter at Alfredton Oval. Three-quarter time sees East Point lead 13 goals, 8-86 to the Ballarat Swans, 7-3-45. For the Kangas, mobile goal kickers are Walsh, Canny, Jeffrey and Molan, all with 2 goals, whilst both Johnstons have a goal apiece. Nestor's got 1, Geordie Slater with 1, Brad Whitaker with the other. For the Swans, bit of a different story. 4 goals to Andrew Hooper. He leads all comers on the ground, with a couple to Reece Perry, and Tom Mooney also has the goal to round out the goal kickers. For the Swannies this afternoon, players are in position. We're just waiting for the final spectators from Ballarat Swans having to make their way from the far side of the ground all the way over here towards the broadcast side. Must be said, wonderful new facilities here at Alfredton Oval. Ballarat Council should be commended for the great work here. State-of-the-art stuff here. As we should have the final spectators get off in just a moment's time to kick action for the final time here in round 4 action in McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. The unofficial gather round, of course, all games this afternoon played in the beautiful city of Ballarat, and it has been a wonderful afternoon here at Alfredton, with sunshine bathing the ground for the vast majority of the afternoon. Let's get the action back underway here with Powling winging it down. Liston comes away with it. He's tried as always. Left foot kick will go towards half forward. McGrath, the intended target. Seen out there by Thompson. Taken away though by the Swans. They pull the kick towards full forward. Hooper wants at the back. Bouncing ball. Hand pass finds his way to Gardner. The captain steadies. Lines up the goals. Went with the check sign kick and in the end misses to the near side. Maybe should have gone with a sliding drop pump on that occasion. But a minor score, 7-4-46, trails 13-8-86. A clean 40-point margin. Johnston to play on. Will go long towards the outer side. There's Matt looking for Walsh. Powling arrived late, flew high, almost took the mark. Sorry, my apologies, that was Bishop. Late man in, trying to take the grab. Umpire says Canny's going nowhere, so we'll throw it in the air. In between the half-back line and centre wing for East Point. They lead things here. Powling wins it down. Quick hand pass from Taylor, picked off by Liston. Again on that non-preferred side, we'll dump it inside forward 50. Thompson with the fist. McGrath, underground hand pass, was towards a teammate. East Point have the numbers across. Coming away with it in defence. Q will get it off there. The Toolman, spun by Hooper to ground, and he's gone, holding the ball. Great tackle by the ex-Western Bulldog, Andrew Hooper. Kicked 4 goals in this match. Will line up for his 5th. And you can see why he was the 2019 Tony Lockett medalist, because he doesn't need much opportunity in this competition to make something happen. I thought Tillman was terrific until half-time. Hooper's really swung the ledger in his favour here with 3 second-half goals and should kick his 5th for the afternoon and 4th for the half. From about 25 metres out, he comes in, keeps it low, and in the end, my word, doesn't even register a score. Remarkable scenes here at Alfredton Oval. A gimme from Hooper. He's failed to score from 25 metres out, shinned it out of bounds. We'll get a ball in. Not one for the highlight reel for Hoops. Back underway here, still in the full forward position. Van Meel knocks it down. Mooney with a snap. Near side, minor score. It's a long way away from the remarkable happening, being 39 points, but chances like that don't come much easier from Ballarat, and then a quick snap doesn't go through. It really is East Point's day, you have to be said, ladies and gentlemen, as Lovic plays on full-back, goes long to the outside. Johnston, the early fly. In the end, maybe was pushed, says the umpire. A free kick will go the way of Johnston. So Geordie Johnston with it. Defensive side of centre wing on the outer side from our broadcast position. Looks to go back in towards defence. Finds Thompson. Has Slater across the ground if he can get to him to complete the switch. The kick's not a good one. He's overcooked it. It's gone out of play. So poor ball use. We'll get a ball in on half forward. Good zoning by the Swans to force the skill error maybe. 7-5, 47 trails, 13-8, 86. We'll get the ball back underway in just inside 50. Johnston on hands and knees, couldn't shovel up the hand pass, and in the end the umpire will say, give it to me, I will throw it in the air. Almost 4 minutes played in this final term. Live round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League at Alfred and Oval. One down by Van Meel again. Trying to come through was Johnston to get one in the back. Umpire says no. He did ask the question. Lovick got one in the chops himself. And the umpire again says give it to me with a few players wrestling for it. Lovick back to his feet after copying that one to the mouth. We're back underway. McGrath tried to get rid of Van Meel, but Van Meel won it down. Drever. Hand pass over top and he finds its way to McDougall. Nesta fumbled towards the line. Prendergast following up him, sees him over the line. Half forward position here for the Swannies. Has to be said, been the better side in the second half. It was 164 points in the early stages of the third term. They've clawed it back to 39. Van Meer wins it down. Gardner around the body. Perry with the one arm, couldn't bring it down. Hooper with the crumbs. Handballs into space into the pocket, but numbers favour East Point. They'll come away with it. Conlon takes on the whoopie tackler. Handball was coughed up though. Well done there by Liston. Look for the 1-2 that Will Liston. Kept it in front. Kept on going to Liston and kicks the goal of the day. Wonderful goal by Will Liston. Just willed the ball forward, pardon the pun. And last year's Ballarat Swans Best of Ferris winner kicks a wonderful goal, their 8th of the afternoon. All of a sudden, only 33 points, the margin at Alfred and Oval. Still a lot of work to do. 8-5, 53 trails, 13-8, 86. Powling wins it down. McDougall out of the midfield, gathers, got the hand pass off to a teammate there in Conlon. He goes towards half forward with the kick. First to get there should be Bishop. Slapped it to his own advantage. Professional fumbles towards the line. Elects to keep it in though, turns on the afterburners, gets away with the kick. Down the line looking for a target. Johnston back to add support. Steps inside with the kick. Looking for Conlon. Nice mark though, taken by the Swans. They look to come across the ground. 50 metres was called the stands, I believe the umpire said. Overstepped. Drever was off to the races, but the 50-metre penalty still the greater advantage. And now Ballarat to set up attack from outside 50. Short ball in. Loose man was Prendergast, and he found him. He marks 45 from goal. To reduce the margin to 27 points, Lawson Prendergast will shoot from 45. It's been 5-1 since half time. And Prendergast could make it 6. Comes in from 45, leans back on the kick, and fades late across the face. 8-6, 54, trails 13-8, 86. Captain Johnson said, I've had enough of this. I'll do the kicking in duties. Thank you very much. Comes out broadcast side. Finds McDougall. Couldn't complete the mark. Good one-hand pick up by the big man. Gave it off to the running man in Conlon. Gets boots a ball. Whitaker is in front. Over the top was Bishop. He's been super. Liston overran this one. Goes the second time. There's Will. Ends up in his lap. Coughed up the Lovick. Big tackle there by Bishop coming through. And umpire Brock Reed on true centre wing says, I'll throw it in the air. 32 points your margin here, ladies and gentlemen. 8 minutes gone in the final term. Van Meel wins it down. Drever, Liston. Kicker comes away, but should be marked or just out in the full. Either way, Conlon has it. Was paid the mark. Plays on. Kicks off the outside of the boot a little bit. Opens the door there for Mellington to get across. Picked up there by Cairns. McDougall, sidestep. In the end, takes on the whoopie tackler. Inside hand pass from Molan towards Cairns, who fumbled. Constable, Mellington. Kick was only about 7 metres or so to McDougall. Tried to clang the mark. Gave off the hand pass to Charleston. Back to Van Meel. Boot to ball was smothered by Liston. Didn't know where it was. Unfortunate for him. Conlon stepped through some traffic. Molan with the hand pass off to Charleston. Looking for McDougall at half forward. Brought down from behind there by Gray. And great pressure by the Swannies to lock things up on their half back line. A few smiles in the crowd. Happy with their Swans fight back here. Was looking disastrous at half time, but drawn their way back into the contest and add some respectability, no doubt. Molan was the star in the opening half. Gardner to Drever, looking for Liston. McDougall steps out of bounds. We'll get a ball in. 8:6:54, trails 13-8-86. 9.5 minutes played in the final term. Back underway, inside 50 for East Point here. Conlon left behind. O'Brien looking for Liston. He's been superb this term. Drills one towards centre wing. Bouncing ball in dispute. Perry picks it up. Can the Swans get out the back? A kick to a vacant forward 50. Trying to take the mark and doing so is Maple. He marks, plays on towards full foot. Hooper got an unkind bounce. Still good enough to shark at the hands. Perry around the body. Swans won't go away. 9-6, 60. Trail East Point 13-8-86. Six goals to one since half-time for the Swans. Makes it only a 26-point ball game. 3 now for Reece Perry. He joins Hooper, who has 4. Liston and Mooney as the goal kickers this afternoon for the Ballarat Swans. Back underway here at Alfred Oval. Powling wins it down. Mooney over the top. Looking for Garner. McDougall got a handy hand in there if you don't mind. Spun out of the tackle to Lovick. Now Charleston, back to McDougall. He'll come out towards the broadcast side with the outside the foot kick. Molan with the one hand couldn't complete the mark. Big tackle from Gray coming through. Got him. Ball spilled free. Good hands by Molan. Got it over the top to Conlon. Gives it to Nesta. Tries to manufacture a kick to the advantage of Whittaker. It was off the instep and dribbled out of play. We'll get a ball in. 11-minute mark. Final term. 9-6-60 trails. 13-8-86. East Point know that just one more goal will be the final nail in the coffin. Ballarat, though, won't go away. A couple in this term to really reduce the margin. It once was 64 points, ladies and gents. Mooney out defence with the kick. Slapped over the shoulder there by the Swans. Bade with the hand pass. Constable knocks it to his own advantage. Was he held without it? Umpire says no. Johnston couldn't hold on. Constable goes the second time. Well done, Johnston with the follow-up. Off to Charleston. Now Taylor. Stops, props, sends inside 50, but to no one. Mark should be taking what Powling and is. Marcus Powling with it. Thinks quick and goes towards the outside. Big contest out there and almost the mark to O'Brien. Follow-up was good. With the hand pass, finds his teammate. Manufactured a kick there, did Harwood. Hooper couldn't complete the mark at full stretch. Toolman sees it towards the boundary line. Will get a ball in. A little win for the East Point defence there. As virtually opposite from our broadcast position on the outside, we will get a boundary throw in. 26-point margin, 12.5 minutes played in this final term. Powling and Van Meel in the ruck. We're back underway here. Van Meel wins it down. Powling, though, fisted forward from the follow-up. Lovick going nowhere, and another ball up will be the result. Umpire gives the ruckman a bit of space to jostle. Neutrally down. Powling with a follow-up. Liston with the hand pass. Fisted forward, though, by East Point. Mullen, clean. Off to Lovic. Lowers the eyes. Nice kick. Finds Whittaker right on 50. Whittaker will have to shoot from outside 50. Not sure in the late stage of the game he has the journey, but he's gone back confidently, if you will. So Brad Whittaker, take the oxygen and the life out of the contest here at Alfredton, will shoot from outside 50. Starts his approach. Needs to be a thumping kick. Gets as close to the man in the mark as he can. It's straight, it's long, and it's home. East Point will walk out victorious with that nail in the coffin there, you would think, from Brad Whittaker. He's second in the afternoon. They move to 14 goals, 8-92. The Ballarat Swans, 9-6-60. In what was 6 goals in a row to the Swannies, Whittaker goals from outside 50. A big kick, a clutch player gets it done. Back on the way at the 14-minute mark. Powling wins it down. Liston will get the clearance. Sends it inside 50. Perry arrived late. Crashed in between a couple of them. Almost completed the chest mark. And in the end, we'll get a stoppage. Ball's just outside 50 now. 32 points your margin here in Gather Round in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Live at the Alfredton Oval. Powling will win it down. Taylor coming through. Held up between him and Mooney. And in the end, the umpire will say, give it to me for another stoppage. Again, clears a bit of space. Now for McGrath to go into the ruck for Ballarat. Fisted forward on as far as Harwood by East Point. He sends it inside 50 for the Swans. Mooney held maybe slightly without it. Johnston comes away with it. Goes across the ground to the outer side looking for Hucker. One big one-on-one contest. Held up in the tackle there by Maple. He got the hand pass away before to ground. Favours East Point. Slater towards the outer side finds a sliding Brad Whittaker in front of the Ballarat coach's box. Takes the mark on hands and knees. Whittaker, your last goal kick in this match, plays on. Inside 50 with the kick. Looking for Johnston. Had 2 hands to it, dropped the mark. Bishop on hands and knees, got out to a teammate. Ballarat happy to use the boundary line, you would think here. Held up in the tackle by East Point. And a stoppage is the result. Bit of push and shove from it. Canny, not far from it. Saying g'day to Bishop. 50 out. 15 and a half minutes gone. Inside 50 for East Point. Knocked down the way of the Kangas, and the hand pass from Molan was a good one. Quick kick from Johnston around the body towards Whittaker. Strong hands. Got it. And just a 2-minute patch where Brad Whittaker's been too big, too strong, will silence any fight back from the Ballarat Swans in this contest. Directly in front from 25 metres out, he is East Point's leading goal kicker coming into the contest with 5. He has 2 to be their leading goal kicker for the day. And number 3, Whittaker from 25, squeezes it home. $15 goals, 8-98. East Point move to a 38-point margin, leads 9-6-60 here in round 4 action in McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League, live from Alfredton Oval. $38-point sure margin here. We'll have Walsh doing the ruck work against Powling. Powling wins it down. Soccer forward there by Liston. Not once but twice. He gets it towards half forward. Off the deck with the outside boot there went Carson, just to gain a bit of territory. Liston dives in. Umpire decision to make because he did jump on it, but he said he was allowed to do so and wasn't diving or dragging the footy in. So a ball up in between half forward and centre wing for the Swannies. Fisted forward only as far as Johnston. Handballs towards the boundary line. Gardner tried to keep it in. Ricocheted off Johnston's hip and went out of play. So we'll get now a boundary throw in. When the game's been free-flowing, Both sides have shown glimpses of their best footy. East Point just with enough class around the contest this afternoon to be the main difference, as well as a wonderful second term when they booted 9 unanswered goals, if you don't mind. Another ball up will be the result. The Swans fought back, kicked 6 of their own. Margin was 164 points, got as close as 26. Last couple of goals from Brad Whitaker has shut the gate in this contest as we approach time on in the final term. Taylor, little dribble kick will get out of the fence. Constable in front leads the race, brought around by Charleston as he knees it out of play, and we'll get a ball in on pretty much true centre wing on the broadcast side. 18 and a half minutes played. 15 goals, 898 leads, 9660 the way of the East Point Football Club. Boundary throw will fall in short. Umpire doesn't elect to recall it. Taylor gets the clearance. Bounces in front of Constable, hit by the weight. Off there towards Drever. Tries a pinpoint pass and does. Nice one. Found Maple off to Liston. Been superb in the final term. Wobbly kick at the half volley. Bounces in front of Hooper. Slightly held without it. Gets the hand pass off to Mooney. Left foot snap will go towards the top of the goal square. Opportunity still here for Ballarat. Big tackle applied there by Howard, and a free kick will go away, and the advantage is taken there by Q. Dumps it towards the outer side. Jeffries had Whitaker over the shoulder, smartly slaps it on to his advantage. The veteran's able to pick this one up, was brought to ground. Ball said it must have spilled out in the tackle, and now Bishop holds things up on the outer side, and we'll get a ball up on pretty much virtually the opposite position from our broadcast position on the outer side. We approach time on, 19 and a half minutes played of action in the final term. Walsh probably got his hands on that one. Will favour the Swans though. They'll get it forward with a quick kick there from O'Brien. Went through the hands there of McGrath and trickles out of play. Now the ball's at the half forward line. Swans can hold their heads high. A disastrous second term, yes, but majority of the other contests they've been in it. Not that much between these two sides. It was always going to come down to who could capitalise on the turnovers the best. That's been East Point. Quick kick from Johnston, only as far there as the Ballarat Swan player in Drever, who's wrapped up and brought to ground. 38 points the margin here at the Alfredton Oval. And we're back underway now, with Powling winning it down. Swans get the hand pass towards Gray. Powling tried to get boot to ball, went nowhere, and in the end another stoppage. So the stalemate to close things out. It looks like real arm wrestle in this final term. Goals at either ends. And we're back underway. Powling takes it out of the ruck. Kick was partially smothered. Trying to fist it forward there was Cairns. Constable by hand, goes inside forward 50. Well done by Carson in the fence, but was smothered coming out with a kick. Still cleared some danger. Off the deck with the follow-up was Carson. Mooney has him. And a ball up will be the result in the middle of the ground. Today with the second win for East Point this season, after a big win in round 2 over Melton South. Ballarat will lose for the third time this season and remain outside the top 6 after making finals last season. The Kangas have it half forward here with Cairns, runs inside 50, lines up the goals and misses. Umpire did a merry dance, couldn't will it home. 39 points is your margin. Short kick coming quickly will find Drever. He plays on immediately. Down the line he goes, big fist by Q. Sees our play, and I've liked his game this afternoon. Not a high possession sort of one, but everything he's done has been very one-percenter and team-orientated. And when he does get the footy, he uses it so well. Big fist there went out of play in between half forward and centre wing for East Point. 39 points tells probably a different story to what spectators and pundits have seen for the majority of the afternoon. Ball falls in short. Taylor to McDougall, broke one tackle. Outside the boot, ball will go inside forward 50 and should be marked by the Swannies and is. Playing on and coming out toward the broadcast side is Constable. Looking for McGrath, big fist by Lovic. He sees it towards the boundary line. Two-time premiership player, of course, Cam Lovic. One of the best users in the competition. Probably not around his 25.5 possession average this afternoon in terms of touches, but again, like Hugh, has been so efficient when he does get it. Big fist there by the Swans. Taylor overruns it and shins it out of play. Bounced in the field of play, so the boundary umpire will throw it in. Academic from here, 39 points to margin. 15 goals, 9. 99 leads, 9-6-60. Van Meer wins it down. Johnston on hands and knees. Try to get the handball up. Ricochet back into his lap. Hence why the umpire says, I'll ball it up. Did well despite being blinded by the beautiful sunshine here in Ballarat this afternoon. Been a cracking afternoon despite the cold weather. One down by Powling. Bade with the hand pass. Finds Drever. Quick kick around the body towards Sewing. Well played by Mooney. Used the body well. Show his experience. Hand pass off there to Prendergast. Left foot kick will go towards Hooper again at his bootlaces. Made it look better than it was. Give away the free kick in the fence were the Swans, or no? Umpires paid the first one, and it's going to go the way of Gardner, and he has Mooney streaming inside 50, who marks. Thought it was going to be a hold on Carson. The umpire paid the first one and went the way of Gardner, and he had Mooney streaming inside forward 50 and rewarded him for his hard run. Battled hard in the midfield this afternoon, Tom Mooney. In and out of the side last season. Guess it's a hard forward line to break into when you had the likes of Josh Gibson down there for the majority of the year. Got some engine in the off-season. Broke in the midfield. And kicking goals as well. He's second of the afternoon. Well done, Tom. Well done, Ballarat. Two goals for the afternoon from the midfield from Tom Mooney, their 10th of the afternoon. He joins mobile goal kickers on the ground in Reece Perry and Andrew Hooper, whilst for the Kangas, well, Whittaker leads the way. Jeffrey's got a couple, so does Molan, Walsh and Canny. 33 points is your margin. In the latter stages of the final term, we'll get back underway. Van Meer went early, neither ruckman touched it. Umpire Reid says play on. Johnston, high ball towards centre half forward. Big fist from the side coming there from Constable. The runners on the ground are with East Point. Jeffrey's one of them. Stands up in the tackle, shoved at the back to Taylor. Goes inside to Molan. He looks there for Canny. Big tackle applied there by Drever. Got him to ground. Ball still in dispute inside forward 50. Hucker dispossessed. And in the end, a stoppage that 35 metres out from goal is the result. One on to the Ballarat defence, holding up under the pressure, the East Point forwards. And we're back underway, 33 points to margin. Powling fisted down. Big tackle applied there by Walsh. And in the end, another stoppage. 26 minutes played. Mooney, the last goal kicker to come off the bottom of that pack. We're back underway here. Inside forward 50 for the Kangas. And another ball up will be the result. You would think going nowhere in the tackle. 10-6-66. Trails 15-9-99. Bade went without it. Mooney with a hand pass. Got it to a teammate who was hotly pursued and brought to ground. And another stoppage inside forward 50. Spoke about it early in the call. The repeat stoppages, a big KPI for all the coaches in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Jackson may be happy with this little bit finish. Just with his forwards holding the ball in and taking the wind out of the sails, if you will, of the match. Liston with the clearance. Going to come back, though. Mark taken there by the Kangas. Mark was taken there by Johnston. Too far at the score. Got a little bit of attention, but was able to play on and dump it inside forward 50. Looking for the high flyers. Off hands, knocked down there by Bishop. And in the end, another stoppage inside deep forward 50 for East Point. We've played 27 minutes now in the fourth quarter in round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League live from Alfred and Oval. Back underway here. Powling wins it down. Liston comes away and umpire paid a free kick and paid the advantage. Handball was smothered, got it back to Liston. Teammate wasn't looking and O'Brien handballed out of play. And again, good slap on the back for the pressure of East Point, the likes of Charleston down there, Jeffries, Canny, all corralling, all tackling hard inside their forward 50, sorry. Ballarat at times haven't been able to get that run and gun that they became famous for last season going. We knew it was going to be a tough year for the Swans. Big exit in the off-season. 1-3 to start the year. Definitely not an ideal campaign if they want to refigure in the finals for 2023. And a free kick going out of the way of Geordie Johnston. Outside 50, 65. Faded in our times. Still been more than serviceable. Plays on, dumps a long one towards the goal square. And they've paid a downfield after the kick. And a bit of malice, unfortunately, coming into the end of this contest. And they're going to come from everywhere. It's going to result in a goal to East Point. Bit on to close the game. Disappointing scenes in what's been a pretty friendly affair, it has to be said, for the afternoon. But Johnson was dumped easy kick. Brother Matt wasn't far behind it. He didn't like it. We'll try to keep with the action here, as the goal should be popped through by East Point. And is. Looks like it was Walsh getting that one through, but yeah, it's a disappointing finish to the game to have that sort of thing. But a goal to East Point. They make the margin 45 points here once again at Alfred Oval. Correction on my end, I said it was 45 points. Gone a little early there at the 29.5 minute mark. It's 39 points here at Alfredton. 10-6-66, trails 16-9, 105. Mitch Walsh kicked a couple in the opening half. Gets the easiest goal of his career to get his third. And to close things out here at the 30-minute mark, we'll get underway with Bowling and Van Meel. Neutrally down, slapped forward by Mooney. Off to a teammate who will go inside forward 50 with the bouncing ball. Umpire has played a hold, and a free kick will go the way of McGrath. Slater had his jumper. Umpire Reid saw it, and we'll get a shot directly in front from about 45 metres or so. One of the tall operators for the Ballarat Swans. Young fella, just needs a bit of time. Persistence is the key for Swans supporters of their players this year. A lot of talent. McGrath, one of them, to come in. Kick is on its way. It's a good strike. And he's popped it through. Ballarat Swans, 11th of the afternoon. He joins Liston as a goal kicker. Couple for Tom Mooney, 3 for Reece Perry, and 4 for Andrew Hooper. Whilst for East Point, 3 to Mitch Walsh, 2 to Canny, 2 to Jeffries, 2 to Molan, singles to Nesta, Slater, and the Johnston boys. Back to 33 points the margin, and it's probably fair that's sort of the difference in the game. There was a 15-minute spurt where the East Point slammed on 6 unanswered goals to close the second term. Your margin's 5.5 goals. Couldn't be more clinical of the difference in the game. Van Meel wins it down. Johnston brought the ground by Liston, got the hand pass off to Charleston. Left foot kick will go towards half forward. Backing back was Gray, couldn't complete the mark. Canny, like a bulldog, got his head down, picked the footy up nicely. Jeffrey, right foot kick will go inside forward 50. Walsh attacked it at full velocity, failed to gather it though. Fisher slapped it only as far as his opposition. O'Brien in there for the Swans as well. Walsh coughed it up to Liston. He steps away from Whoopie traffic and kicks out towards the broadcast side. McGrath, he got one in the back. Umpire says no. Howard at the back goes to Lovic. Long ball will go inside forward 50. Double fister coming there from the Swans and Fisher. At the back, fumble, goal, Johnston. Kicks his second as Geordie. And East Point 17th of the afternoon. Fourth goal of the season for Geordie Johnston. only the 16 disposals last week and a couple of goals. 35 in round 2, which is East Point's first game of season against Melton South. Been above average this afternoon as the number 11 superstar. We'll get back underway at the 33-minute mark of the last term. Pounding wins it down. A quick kick there by the Kangas goes forward to McDougall. Been superb. Taylor overran that one. Taylor goes the second time, able to pick up the footy. Goes inside towards Van Meel. Step back inside the traffic. Coughed it up. Although a quick kick will come the way of Cairns. And he gets it forward there to Conlon, who plays on. Took on the tackler. Over the top he goes. Looking for McDougall. Couldn't drag that one in. Ballarat shuffle it by hand, and in the end it's locked up with a big tackle in between half back and centre wing on the other side for the Swannies. 11 goals, 672. Trails 17 goals, 9-1-11. Back underway. Powling wins that one down. East Point come away with it. Fumbled out of play. Ball will come in. Played almost 34 minutes to close out the match here this afternoon. Round 4 action in the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. Gather round, of course, in the competition. All games in Ballarat this afternoon. Been a terrific afternoon. The weather's held off. We've had a cracking contest here. High-scoring affairs across the league. Great to see. As inside forward 50, punched away by the Ballarat defence. Canny lines up from 30. Around the body he goes. Too much curl on that one. And it's on again inside forward 50. Walsh involved. Can he hit late after the kick? Walsh didn't like it. And again, a bit of push and shove to sadly close this game. I was following the action. Not sure we caught that one on vision or not. Canny has composed himself, but as I said earlier, a disappointing finish. See this push and shove, and Canny's going to have to come from the ground from the looks of things. Now the umpire, I think he's going to pay down. Just wait for confirmation here. The ball went through for a minor score. He's going to pay downfield, which will result in Whittaker getting a shot in the goal square. And he'll pop it through. So East Point kicked the goal. Well, I imagine the behind wouldn't have counted. But the goal is the 18th of the afternoon for the Kangas, and it's the 4th for Brad Whittaker, who's kicked 3 in the final term, put the nail in the coffin earlier when the Swans dragged the margin back to 26 points. Not a bad effort from their veteran. Yeah. Inspirational leader. Of course, missed pretty much the majority of 2022 when he broke his ankle and leg against Sebastopol in round 1 of that year. Come back this year, fitter than ever, playing fitter than ever. He's kicked 8 goals for the years thus far and been amongst it this afternoon. We're back underway here. One down there by Powling. Taylor comes away with it with the hand pass. East Point just starting to blow it out on the scoreboard a little bit to finish things here in a long final term. After 36 minutes, the siren does finally sound. And it's a victory to East Point. Scoreboard reads 18 goals 10, 118. The Ballarat Swans 11-6, 72. For East Point, as I said, Whittaker led the way with 4 goals, 3 to Mitch Walsh, a couple to Canny, Geordie Johnston, Jack Jeffries and Molden, with singles to Nestor, Geordie Slater and Matthew Johnston. Whilst for Ballarat, Hooper kicked 4, Reese Perry kicked 3, 2 to Mooney and singles to Liston and McGrath. But that is it here from the Alfred Oval, round 4 as the McDonald's Ballarat Football Netball League. A victory to East Point. They stay within the competition top 6, and they make their charge towards yet another finals campaign. Thank you for listening this afternoon live in Alfred Oval. Hope to see you all next week here live.
The McValue Bundle at Macca's. A choice of your favourite burgers, together with fries and drinks for just $26.95. Did we just find something the whole family can agree on?
Push buttons to park magically.